Hello, good morning. Welcome to the news at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM. It's 103.9 FM in Accra, in Kumasi, on Love 99.5 and in all 16 regions of Ghana via partner stations. Also live on myjoyonline.com, X Spaces and YouTube. This morning, high-stakes NPP caucus meeting in Parliament to query Alexander Akoto on Gold Board CEO extortion claims. Meanwhile, this is how the minority leader reacted to the claims last night on Probe.
I've made certain statements. I would rely on them without more. The people of Ghana expect a certain level of maturity from me. I want to assure the party that the mandate they gave me, God willing, that mandate will be discharged.
Meanwhile, we have more in Parliament as it reconvenes today for an emergency 5-day sit-in to consider key ministerial nominations and other urgent government business. Also coming up, Energy Minister John Jinapor confident power sector challenges will be resolved next month, admitting the country's grid currently remains volatile.
Next month, we should have the Akoto control station back in service so that we can now evacuate power direct from Akoto.
And also, Republic Bank Joy News Habitat Fair wraps up with prospective homeowners finding answers to building their dream homes.
But I've wished for more days because some of us are as far as Tema. So yeah, let's look forward to Joy FM organizing more of this fairs.
In business,
more than 18,000 jobs to be created from foreign direct investment recorded last year. We've got details of the Joy Business Report.
These and more with me, Mamisi Nyamiche Thompson. Stay for details. This morning, Minority Leader Alexander Akoto is expected to face his fellow NPP MPs following allegations of extortion made against him by Gold Board CEO Sammy Gyamfi. Joy News understands that some senior members of the party in Parliament consider the allegations very serious and are demanding answers. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwaku Asante reports.
The bombshell allegation was made at the seat of the presidency when Gold Board CEO Sammy Gyamfi addressed journalists to respond to allegations of losses made against Gold Board by the minority in Parliament, led by their leader, Alexander Akoto.
Akoto's continuing antics must therefore be seen for what they are: a desperate smear campaign by persons who have specialized in sophistry and political blackmail. These are devious extortionists who will come at you with lies in the hope that you will fold and settle for what they call, quote, compulsory arbitration, and oil their palms. This time around, they found their own target.
In an interview on Newsfile on Joy News over the weekend, Sammy Gyamfi doubled down on the allegations and dared the minority leader to sue him.
There are many underlying issues between I and Akoto that you don't know and those watching don't know. So the NPP people talking, there are things you don't know. And that is why he cannot comment on that or even challenge me. He cannot, because he knows that what I said is true. Tell him that you want to be his lawyer so that he sues Sammy Gyamfi to substantiate that claim. Tell him.
The minority leader has since categorically denied the claims and has said in a statement that he's considering his options legally. But his denial appeared to have done nothing to calm several senior NPP MPs who believe their leader must do more than issue just a denial. Joy News can exclusively report that these senior NPP MPs have forced the meeting of the caucus to demand further answers from the minority leader, which is now scheduled to be held this morning ahead of Parliament sitting later in the afternoon after the House was recalled for urgent legislative business. Joy News will be keeping its ears and eyes on the grounds for details of this meeting, even as some NPP MPs bay for blood. Kwaku Asante for Joy News.
Meanwhile, this is how Mr. Akoto responded to the extortion allegations on the probe Sunday night on Joy News.
I've made certain statements. I would rely on them without more. Don't rush. You see, in the Bible, Jesus was accused, wild allegations. He kept quiet and watched them. He could have done anything, but you see, when you are dealing with situations, the people of Ghana expect a certain level of maturity from me. I want to assure the party that the mandate they gave me, God willing, that mandate will be discharged. We would work hard. The people of Ghana expect us to do nothing less. They expect us as minority to be forthright, to work hard, to hold the feet of government to the fire. We will do that. All other things that will come, we'll deal with it. So don't worry.
Well, Parliament is reconvening today for an emergency 5-day sitting to consider key ministerial nominations and other urgent government business. Speaker Alban Bagbin recalled MPs less than a month after the House adjourned on July 31, invoking Order 58.4 of Parliament's standing orders. High on the agenda is the consideration of the nominations of Mahama Yarga as Minister-designate for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, and Zaneto Agyemang-Rawlings as Minister-designate for Environment, Science and Technology. And you know, Joy News is all over this for you. We'll bring you subsequently what happens in Parliament. Moving away from Parliament, Energy Minister John Jinapor has promised that the power sector challenges facing the country will be resolved in September. Several communities across Accra experienced power interruptions over the weekend following emergency works undertaken by Ghana Grid Company Limited to replace a damaged transmission tower on the Tema Achimota transmission line at Ashaiman. On Newsfile, Mr. Jinapor admitted that the country's power grid remains volatile.
The grid is not the strongest. We still have some challenges with the grid, and we must invest, particularly the line between Kumasi and Accra. It's so critical. We need to do that line so that we can have redundancies. If we have a problem, we can use another line. Next month, we should have the Akoto control station back in service so that we can now evacuate power direct from Akoto.
Meanwhile, Executive Secretary for African Center for Energy Policy, Ben Boache, is calling for a probe into the main causes of the total blackout in the power sector.
As far as I understand what is going on in Akoto, the total blackout could be fixed if they do the switchyard there, but it wouldn't stop any line from tripping. So the investigations will have to be at different levels. What is causing the trips? Because it is a trip of the 330 kV line that cascades. So you have a bigger load moving onto a smaller line, and that causes the entire system to trip. So you really have to also address what is causing the trips on the 330 kV line.
From financing and innovative housing solutions, the Republic Bank Joy News Habitat Fair provided patrons with an opportunity to engage directly with industry experts. On that 3-day event, Precious Goza reports.
The Republic Bank Joy News Habitat Fair brought together players from across the housing and home improvement sector, with exhibitors showing products and services to prospective homeowners and investors. Republic Bank was at the center of the 3-day fair, engaging visitors on its mortgage facilities and other financing options for people looking to acquire or complete their homes.
Republic Bank has always been in this business for a little over 36 years. We have been offering mortgage facilities to our customers, and we pride in that. Currently, we are offering very good interest rates, 8.4 for public sector workers, and all our rates are fixed. We have 13.5 as well, and it's also fixed. Again, let me just be quick to add that Republic Bank also gives mortgage to the diasporan market, that is customers who are not resident Ghanaians but living abroad and they want to purchase a house in Ghana. We are able to finance that for them.
And as the 3-day event draws to a close, one visitor says the experience has been great but believes the fair should run for more days in the future.
But I wish for more days because some of us are as far as Tema. So yeah, let's look forward to Joy FM organizing more of this fairs or increasing the days from 3 to maybe subsequently other weeks to come. Yeah.
And the final day of the preliminary stage of the National Science and Math Quiz 2026 is here, with a dream of reaching the 1/8 stage hanging in the balance for 21 schools. With 42 schools already through, here's a look back at the schools that soared, the giants that fell, and what lies ahead.
We are winning!
5 days of nerves, drama, celebrations, and heartbreaks, and the NSMQ 2026 prelims have delivered it all.
Like Gehe is coming back. This time, Gehe, we are winning! We are winning!
The race for the preliminary stage began with no room for hesitation as schools came ready to fight for survival.
You know that we are the pace setters and we set the pace for others to follow. So they should just prepare for us because we're going to set the pace for them to follow us.
Wesley girls showed their class while St. Louis Senior High School powered through to book their ticket. Schools like Edinaman Senior High School, Kumasi Academy, St. John's Grammar and West Africa Senior High School also secured their place in the next stage. Then came the comebacks. KNUST Senior High School saw their hopes of advancing dashed. Today, 21 schools will go head-to-head to fight for the 7th slot to qualify. The 1-8 stage promises even bigger battles.
We are Ahima. We gave birth to them. So we are seniors. We're showing them that we're seniors.
And that'll be all for this morning's bulletin. Up next is business on the Super Money Show. Do stay.
Oh, jump on now. Go, the go. Go me. At what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
When I say ABSA, you say yes. ABSA Bakiti, we go say yes this 2026 till your jobs start dropping down. Yes, you listening to me right now. I know you get dreams. And work is here. And they work it well. Like me, I want to buy that Porsche car I've been dreaming of. I move into my dream house. No landlord will say me. Join the ABSA family and let's help you say yes to your dreams with tailored banking solutions from loans, mortgages, credit cards to digital banking and more. Make 2026 the year of yes with ABSA. Your story matters.
Who dey brass? We dey brass them. Who dey brass? We dey brass them. Who dey brass? We dey brass them. Brass your teeth. Brass your teeth every day and night. After eating before bed, brass the gems away. The sugar jam, we go brass them. Fufu jam, we go brass them. Rice jam, we go brass them. We go.
When it comes to your teeth, Funnel World Cup. Brush them twice daily with Pepsodent, now in limited edition packs. This advert is FDA approved.
Go day, say a party, mini me a chomo, crunchy, chilling with friends, mini me a chomo, tasty, take chuck your hunger, mini me a chomo, crunchy, break time please, mini me a chomo, tasty, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, come and taste the fun, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, come and taste the fun. For the laughter, mini, a chomo. All the parties, mini, a chomo. Let's go dancing, mini, a chomo. Taste the fun, mini, a chomo.
This advert is FDA approved.
Mom, please can I have some milk in my Milo?
Have you tasted it?
No, but I didn't see you add milk.
Hey, taste it before you ask me any questions.
Hey, milk na chum say.
This is Milo all in one. Milo Pampa, cocoa, malt, milk show, everything is inside.
Milo All-in-One already comes with more milk. Just mix with water and taste the nourishing goodness of quality cocoa, malt, and more milk all in one sachet. Milo, the energy to go further. This advert is FDA approved.
Cast your mind back to 2022.
The prices were rising. The stress was high. Every liter of fuel felt like a sacrifice. Do you remember who stepped forward first? When others were comfortable with high prices, Star Oil chose you. We cut our own profits so you could keep your AC on, keep your engines running, and keep your life moving without the heavy burden. We gave you room to breathe when things felt tight. Because of you, our star savers, we became number one. Today, the pumps are a battleground. Others are finally cutting prices because they have to. But Star Oil, we do it because we want to. Don't just chase a price, remember a friendship. We were there for you then, and with new innovations coming your way, we are here for you now. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Every business starts with a dream, a small idea, a first customer, a first sale. And then one day you realize your business is ready for more equipment, more stock, more opportunities. But sometimes the money you need to take that next step isn't there yet. That's where Societe Generale Ghana comes in. With our SME loans promo, access the financing and banking solutions your business needs to move forward. Finance lease for equipment and machinery, waffle loan for working capital, factoring and invoice discounting to unlock cash tied up in invoices. Whatever your next big move, we are here to help your business grow. Visit any Societe Generale Ghana branch or visit societegenerale.com.gh to learn more. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM and the 6 a.m. news brought to us by Absa Bank Ghana Limited. Your story matters, and Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you. Time now for the Joy Business Report brought to us by Omni Basic Bank, not just another bank. Akwafu.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm great. You?
As you can see, God is still taking very good care of us.
Definitely is.
Yes, we have. We have life. We have life, and that's the most important thing. People say once there's life, there's hope.
There's hope.
There's definitely hope. And over the weekend I was in Kufurdia.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yes, I was there. Met some friends. Had some conversations here and there. But as much as we talk about things, the macroeconomic indicators being good, Professor Kwaku posted that the cost of airfare from a round trip Accra Kumasi is in excess of 5,000. And Daryl, you see,
you need 5,000 Ghana cedis.
5,000 Ghana cedis.
Wow.
You see, that's not small money.
Definitely not.
I have to go to Kumasi in October, and the road is definitely not my friend. We all know. The last time I went to Kwaku for the Kwaku Business Forum, when I was moderating the Business Forum, I spent hours before I even got to Nkoko. It was terrible. And there are people who've gone to Kumasi. It's taking them 6, 7, 8 hours to get to Kumasi. Why? What is it? This morning, it's important we find out, okay, the cost component of these tickets, what's making them so high, and how we can deal with them. It's very, very important. And we'll get into that conversation here on the Super Morning Show. In fact, I'm just trying to do a round trip, okay? I'm trying to book a round trip now, for purposes of analysis, just to find out how much that will cost. Okay, I'm doing that. And you see that it's so much. Okay, it costs so much. And I'm just showing the flights. Daryl, you realize that it's so expensive flying in this country called Ghana. And if it's so expensive, how do you expect to boost, tourism, for instance?
Exactly. And elsewhere, it's become like the usual thing to travel by air, right? I mean, like, how would like to pick a Trotsky to a place? Flying by air is just cheap, and you can go anywhere you want.
It's cheaper and easier. But this morning also, we're interested in IDEG because they say they are opposed to the presidential nomination of DCE candidates for election. So the president will nominate 5 after vetting reduced to 3, at least 1 woman in there, and elections be held. I say, why does the president want to have a hand in who becomes my DCE?
Exactly. The people should decide.
Yes. The people look, and this is it. All of us have decided in this country. When I say all of us, not all of us, majority of us have decided that the election of MMDCs should be on non-partisan basis. Do you know what that means? That means the president and opposition leaders should not have a say in there.
And when it becomes partisan, that's how come we don't see development in our areas, because everything is political. Yeah.
So why does the president want to have a say in that? And this morning we get into that conversation. We're told that also by the finance ministry that our debt servicing is now below 20% of revenue. What does that mean for us? All of these coming up here on the Super Morning Show. Who gets the trumpet this morning?
Well, it's been an amazing 3 days, right? At the Achimota Retail Center. I mean, it was drizzling on Saturday, but people still thronged the place for the Republic Bank Johnny's Habitat Fair. And so for all who participated, all our experts, Republic Bank, everybody for making the first mini clinic a success, we say trumpets. Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up, more than 18,000 jobs to be created from foreign direct investments recorded last year. Also coming up, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama highlights pressure on country's international reserves due to tensions in the Middle East. Plus, government records 162% oversubscription of treasury bills as interest rates continue to drop. Details coming up. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us this morning. Hello to our friends listening from Kofor on KT Radio. The Ghana Investment Promotion Authority expects more than 18,000 jobs to be created from foreign direct investments recorded last year. This was captured in the 2025 annual investment data. There's more in the following report.
Now, these are jobs forecast by the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority when all the 223 projects registered become fully operational. The authority has also moved further to break down the numbers in terms of nationalities. Of these registered numbers, Ghanaians are expected to take up majority of these jobs, whilst foreigners, on the other hand, will take about 10%. Last year, Ghana got $2.62 billion in terms of foreign direct investments. China topped with 70 projects. In terms of value, Cayman Islands emerged as the top country where Ghana had the biggest monetary investment of $500 million. A significant part of these projects will be located in the Greater Accra region.
Now, President John Mahama strongly defended his directive for value addition of significant portions of Ghana's cocoa beans and natural resources. This follows concerns of a backlash from some developed economies. Now, speaking with TRT World, the president said the time is right to embark on this action to save the economy.
We believe that the time has come for us to add value to our natural resources rather than just export them. And I'll give you a few examples. From colonial periods, we have been the second largest exporter of cocoa beans. Now, just about 30% of those cocoa beans are processed locally. The rest, 70%, is shipped abroad. Those beans that are shipped abroad represent jobs that are leaving Ghana because the processing takes place. Sometimes we have to import them back, So we are saying that, look, we want to raise processing to at least 50%. And so we are changing the model by which we finance cocoa purchases.
President John Mahama. Now, the Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama has revealed that developments in the Middle East brought serious pressure on the country's international reserves. This has seen the reserves drop by a significant margin to $12.9 billion at the end of June this year. Speaking with students of the University of Ghana, the governor noted the situation calls for urgent build-up.
One thing we've done right since last year was to build higher amounts of reserves. So that way, even where there's a dip, you're able to hold things. Whilst at that, you look at other ways of recovering your reserves. And we have a number of ways to recover the reserves. Cocoa. We have to do better at cocoa. We have to do better even at the non-traditional exports. Currently, non-traditional exports constitute about 10% of our exports. And we find a way to get it to about 15% of exports. But the last 3-4 months has really been quite a challenge. And I'm not surprised we lost about 1.2 billion. But as I said, those went into, paying for very legitimate things. So
that was Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama. Now, the Finance Minister, Dr. Chancellor Tuforsen, has revealed that the debt restructuring program has helped stabilize the economy. Key among that is helping reduce the country's cost of servicing debts to less than 20% of revenue mobilized for each year. More in this report.
Before the debt restructuring program in December 2022, Ghana was spending a significant portion of revenue mobilized to service its debts. This left little room for embarking on infrastructure programs and even critical social initiatives. However, now that Ghana has made significant progress on reaching debt restructuring deal with most of its creditors, especially those outside the country, this should come as a big relief to government. Government believes that this will now create some room for more targeted spending. The development has also helped in Ghana's credit ratings upgrade, as there are strong indications of further upgrade in the coming months.
Economist Dr. Ishmael Yamson is asking the Finance Minister, Dr. Chancellor Tuforsen, to now focus on growth and job creation. Dr. Yamson believes this is the best thing to do after posting stability over the past 1 year.
If I take over a company that is bleeding, the first thing I will do is to cut costs and take a fresh look at all the expenditures and say, these are valid expenditures, I should go on. And then start spending on those expenditures that will create value and create jobs. So you have the first 2 years that will be very tough for the economy. We definitely have to be disciplined to say, let me finish 100, let me go to the next 100. Meanwhile, I'm building the capacity to allow me to make more investment in productive investments.
Economist Dr. Ishmael Yamson, government recorded an astonishing 162% oversubscription of treasury bills. Bank of Ghana's auction results show that investors bought the 364-day bill because of its high yield. Details in the following report.
The government accepted about 5.8 billion Ghana cedis of the total bid. The 364-day bill was once again the most subscribed bill, as 9.9 billion Ghana cedis of the bid were tendered, representing 183% of the total bid. The uptake was, however, 2.6 billion Ghana cedis. The 182-day bill received bid of 1.2 billion Ghana cedis. A little above 766 million Ghana cedis of the bid was accepted. For the 91-day bill, 3.1 billion Ghana cedis of the bid were tendered. A little above 2.4 billion Ghana cedis of the bid were accepted. Meanwhile, interest rates continued to dip on the yield curve. The yield on the 91-day bill went up by 39 basis points to 5.07%. That of the 182-day bill also decreased to 7.08% from the previous weeks of 7.27%. Similarly, the yield on the 364-day bill surged by 91 basis points to 11.59%.
Now, if you turn to Republic Bank for mortgage loans, you'd have your interest rates pegged at a fixed rate. Officials of the bank disclosed this at the Republic Bank Johnny's Habitat Fair, which ended over the weekend with some juicy discounts for patrons. Here's more.
Republic Bank was at the center of the 3-day fair, engaging visitors on its mortgage facilities and other financing options for people looking to acquire or complete their homes.
Republic Bank has always been in this business for a little over 36 years. We have been offering mortgage facilities to our customers, and we pride in that. Currently, we are offering very good interest rates, 8.4 for public sector workers.
But the fair went beyond mortgage financing, with a wide range of exhibitors bringing their products closer to potential customers.
So virtual security, any products you buy from this period, that's from now to the end of December, you instantly get a 20% discount.
For the exhibitors, the event provided an opportunity to put their products directly before prospective customers, while visitors had the chance to interact with industry players and find solutions to their housing needs.
Stock market news now. Let's turn to Caitlin Darcy of Data Bank Research for the latest on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
Last week, trading activity on the stock market ended with 9 gainers and 8 laggards. The top gainers were Das Pharma, Intravenous Infusions, and Digicat, while Zen Petroleum, Casapreco, and MTN Ghana declined. Driven by the price moves, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index surged to a year-to-date gain of 74.8%, while the Data Bank Stock Index returned 90.7%. Weekly turnover increased to 76.9 million Ghana cedis after trading 17.9 million shares across 33 counters, with MTN Ghana accounting for 61.9% of the market turnover. This week, we expect the share prices of Das Pharma to increase, while GCB Bank, EcoBank, and ETI decline. For Joy Business Reports, Caitlin Darcy of Data Bank Research.
Right, before we go, a look at the markets. This morning on the commodity market, crude oil going up again, selling at $93.16 a barrel. Gold is trading at $4,638 an ounce. Cocoa going for $6,034 a ton. On the currency market, the dollar going for 11 cedis, 40 pesos. That's what major commercial banks are offering their clients. The euro, 13 cedis, 31 pesos. The British pound, 15 cedis, 52 pesos. The Forex Bureau is quoting the dollar at 12 cedis, 25 pesos. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for listening. The Super Morning Show continues with Winston and the team.
Thank you very much, Darryl, for joining us with the latest in the world of business, which means we can have our inspirational song for today. And Jojo's chosen one, My God and My King, the symphonic version. Okay, let's enjoy it. That's our inspirational song for today.
Everybody, come on now.
My God and my King.
What you
and my King.
Yeah.
How great you are.
Come on,
how great you
my
are.
God.
My God and my King. And my King. How great you are. How great.
Lord, you reign. Everybody.
You reign above all else.
And you rule. You rule above all kings. So we call you Yahweh. Mighty ruler. Mighty ruler. Now screaming. Everybody clap your hands. My God. na pisa, hai mama tu manati mateche. Enchi jojo, hamba chicho, laila baya samba. Como no tetu, ai tejo, la loto sije. Untije, omana tiji, untije le laila. Ili mana tiji, mamuku mamuku na titi, manazo patita. Opa na mata mayose, my toto, amba. Untije, che. Help me say, come on. And my shield. Thank you, Jesus. Turn my life around. Oh my. And my shield. Come on, y'all. Turn my life around. Turn my life around.
And that's our inspirational song for today here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Kwaku Asante is here. Kwaku?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Winston Amoah. How you doing?
I am fine. How about you?
I'm doing very well. I mean, it's Monday morning, the new week and all of that. Yeah. So,
it's
fresh
salary,
energy.
It's a salary
week. Hey, but this week, are you sure salary will be paid? Because you see, the month will not end this week.
Oh,
31st, this one is
relax,
next week, Monday.
Relax. When is salary week?
Yes.
Those of us who are employers, we have to go and pay salaries. We're also employees. We're also expecting salary.
Okay.
So anyway, let's get into our fuel tip for today.
Yes, the fuel tip for today: LPG cylinders must always be kept upright during transport, storage, and use. Laying a cylinder on its side can interfere with safe operation and increase your risk. Position matters in gas safety. This is a message from Comac.
Good tip. I didn't know that. Let's learn how to say it right. Brought to us by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks, and Societe Generale Bank Ghana, the future.
With a little bit of singular and plural. I know it can be quite a minefield, but it needn't be. Some words are exactly the same in the singular as they are in the plural form, like arsenal. I often hear people add an unnecessary S when they want to say the plural of arsenal. But arsenals is not an English word. The plural of arsenal is arsenal. This is quite a common mistake that I've heard people make with other words. It's equipment, not equipments. Furniture, not furnitures. Stationery, not stationaries. Infrastructure, not infrastructures. Expenditure, not expenditures. Yeah, I know that you get the picture now, right? And now we can all say it right and improve our vocabulary, not vocabularies.
So now you know how to say it right. Good morning to all our accountants. They like expenditures, saying expenditures like something. Anyway, let's continue.
Well, let me tell you about Kingdom Books and Stationery. The back to school promotion is still running, and from now to September 30, you get up to 15% discount on all school items, including pens, pencils, erasers, exercise books, and more, across all the Kingdom Books branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Takoradi, Winneba, and Cape Coast. Give them a call on 0302-764-101, and the website is kingdomstoreonline.com. Kingdom Books, where quality and affordability are both assured.
Well, SG Bank says your customer has not paid yet, but your business still has bills to pay. Don't let unpaid invoices slow down your business with Societe Generale Ghana's factoring and invoice discounting solutions. You can get up to 80% of your invoice value upfront while we follow up with your clients for payment on your behalf. That means better cash flow and less time chasing payments. Let's help you keep your business moving. Visit any SG Ghana branch or call 0302-214-314 today. Visit any Societe Generale Ghana branch or call 0302-214-314 for more information. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you.
Let's get into the newspapers. Now the newspaper review brought to us by Syntex Tanker, your stronger, your tough, Kel Chaco toothpaste, happy smile and style, your quality and affordable fuel for all.
We'll start with the Daily Graphic this morning, and the Daily Graphic has a lot of stories. Now, the lead story, let's win sanitation fight together. Chief of Staff urges collective action. And this morning I read on the BBC that somewhere in Guinea, a rubbish landfill has collapsed and killed 30 people. Yes, and in Ghana, our Chief of Staff is saying we should win the sanitation fight together. Ghana now spends less than 20% on servicing debt. This is a revelation by the Minister for Finance, Dr. Ato Forson. Tertiary Business Sense Challenge, 6 universities secure national semi-final slots. And Reverend Wengam, re-elected Assemblies of God General Superintendent. We say congrats to Reverend Steve Yenusum Wengam. And if you go to the back page, Hansonic Junction drainage work commences. Remember this particular story, how it's been poor for years. Now we are told that the work has begun.
The Chronicle newspaper, FOCO files chairmanship papers tomorrow, and that is on the front page of the paper. And an extortion claim against Afenyo Makin is false. Deputy Minority Leader Mama Pat there. But right under that story, Proverbs 12:19, Chronicle and their Bible quotations. The truthful lip shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is bad for a moment. Make of it what you want. And that is all on the front page of the Chronicle newspaper.
If you go to the graphic business, 23 banks, $1. Many prices, bank-to-bank rates, differences expose customers to varying FX costs. $1, different banks, different rates.
I mean, that's the whole idea of a capitalist market. So the beneficiaries are always the consumers. So you decide which bank you want to go. Check all the rates and choose one.
More stories from the graphic business. GRA deepens use of data analytics to boost revenue mobilization. And the robots are not coming for your job. They are coming for half of it. It's an interesting article in there. You may want to read that.
The Ghanaian Times newspaper front page, nation attracts $2.6 billion FDI in 2025. Manufacturing leads investment drive. Minister orders police to crush illegal security groups. Reverend Wengam rallies church behind growth agenda after landslide victory. GMET warns of funding crisis over GCAA arrears. And minority seeks full reconciliation of IMF Gold Board accounts.
Now, if you go to the BNFT, government weighs lifting grain export ban amid 70,000 metric ton rice glut. Is it the export ban we have to lift or the import of rice that we have to curtail?
Well, if you look at the context of the story, as the export ban that I think would be lifted, because then, the context says there's a glut, so why don't you, which means that we are not consuming it here, but you've introduced another important angle. The glut could also be as a result of, these imported rice, which may be cheaper.
If you look at Agric Intelligence Dashboard, it's not that we have produced rice, giddy, over the top. You understand? If you compare this year, last year to previous years, we've not really produced like 10 times what we used to produce, or even 2 times what we used to produce. It's just that we've opened our gates and we've allowed a lot of these imported rice to get into the market. So will our main strategy be to check on the imports, possibly put tariffs on the imports, or rather open our doors to export more?
I'll tell you what I think. It is my belief that as much as would want to see Ghanaian farmers, cashing, the reality is that if you're a government also, you're not going to go wholesale and say, I'm going to put tariff on imported rice. when you are not certain that you can produce enough to take care of your domestic needs.
So the chief of staff, the president should say all state agencies this upcoming Christmas buy only made in Ghana rice.
You hold on, let me finish. Once I finish, you get it. So the point is that you'd have to hasten slowly, incentivize the farmers to the stage where they can now produce for the whole country. Then you slash tariff on imported rice. If you start now, you'd have a problem. So you see, there's always the paradox of improving your cedi, okay, or helping your local currency to appreciate. Once it appreciates, it makes a lot of business sense for me as an importer of rice to bring imported rice into this country. And if I bring imported rice into this country, and it costs so much to produce rice locally. So what do you do? And we've had this conversation before, so I'm not going to go into, the funding arrangements and everything and the markets and all of that. I'm not going to go into that. We know what we must do. Okay? We know what we must do. But this is the point also. Recently, the Ministry of Roads and Highways indicated that Ghanaian contractors should be buying made in Ghana products. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Now, the school feeding program,
where are they getting their rice from?
That was supposed to be funded, supplied with locally produced products, locally produced food. What has happened to it? My brother, as for a businessman, and for those of us who are farmers, let's face it sometimes, every businessman will look at what best works for him. If he thinks that if he supplies you imported rice, he gets more profit, fine. But the state should use its powers to make sure that these business entities would supply local rice.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into other stories.
The state using its powers, if I may, the state employs over 600,000 people. Excuse me, 600,000 people. Every Christmas, each person gets a bag of rice. If you want your local goods to move, use local procurement. I do not think any state agency should be allowed to use the taxpayers' money to buy imported rice in Christmas for their staff.
I'll end on this note. People buy the story, not necessarily your product.
Anyway,
it's about time our local producers of rice also tell us the best of stories when it comes to their produce.
Other stories?
Yes.
BNFT, last story from the BNFT. Strong GDP growth masked decades-long productivity decline. This is according to Maxwell Opoku-Afari.
The inside newspaper, Mahama rescues Ademu's resources, grants 12-month reprieve in standoff with Lands Ministry, and Vaco's new rolling mill opens new frontiers for value-added aluminium production. Africa must take ownership of all of its future. Amaprat speaking there. Osu Ablante Manya supports Cross-REM initiative to provide educational needs for needy children and concerns mount over demolition of Ayalolo Kimbu Terminal for stalls. And Mahama calls for 5 permanent UN Security Council seats for Africa.
If you go to the Daily Guide, 50 battle for NPP top posts. There are photos of Boache Jako, Charles Jamina, John Boedu, Sylvester Tete, Eugene Boache Entry, and Justin Kodia Frimpong. Supreme Court affirms selective vacation sittings, dismisses injunction. Mahama rescues Adamu's resources, and Reverend Wengam re-elected AG, that's Assemblies of God Ghana, General Superintendent.
The custodian newspaper, Saglemi, NPP vindicated on private sector model. Kojo Ponkroma speaking yesterday, he did a news conference in Parliament where he explained what he had to do when he was Works and Housing Minister. And Minority vows to probe 22 billion cedis gold trading loss, dismisses diversionary extortion claims. Chief of Staff, others call for clean environment. 50 seek NPP, 11 national executive positions. Gordon quits NPP communications race and endorses Miracle Abuaje. All of that also on the front page of the custodian newspaper.
I was looking at affordable housing provision by the states since independence, and Winston has been very poor. It's been very poor. And this morning, as part of our conversation, we are looking at cost of airfares, cost of living, cost of accommodation. The state seems to have slept on affordable housing. If you look at the number of units we've produced as a state over the period, and the population growth, somebody needs to be asking questions of the Ministry of Works and Housing and the state prioritizing affordable housing.
Well, the prioritization of affordable housing becomes a challenge when the country develops like Oshoko. So when your country is only in Accra, Ghana is Accra.
It's also in Kumasi.
See, when your country is in Accra, what it then means is that a lot of people move into Accra with the belief that this is where they can make it. Now, today, where are the lands that you want to build affordable houses in Accra?
A lot.
Hold on a second. That's why the state went to Saglemi.
Okay.
That's why the state went to Saglemi. Because you need land. And the kind of land you need to build the kinds of affordable housing you need, problematic. I would prefer, if the state was so minded, that the people who work at the ministries should live close.
Yeah.
So these redevelopment, the state should have facilitated it.
The state lands that have been sold to private sector people to build luxury apartments.
Now, if we are so minded, what we must do is to begin to deliberately, develop all regional capitals to be able to, hold the residents of the region. But that's not all. The whole concept of a central place theory. Look, one of the reasons I support the creation of new districts and, new regions, is that those areas become central places to trigger the development of their communities.
But does it really work, by the way? Because we've done. What did you do with the regions?
You see, hold on.
And you go to some of Dambai.
Hold on.
The place you see the place.
Hold on. You see. The University of Cape Coast.
Yes.
That university, cited in Cape Coast, was able to provide jobs for people around Cape Coast. A boost in education within Cape Coast is enough to hold, the Cape Coast metropolis. What do? If you create a new region, Asante, and you decide to build a university in that region, what have you done? Immediately, you're saying thousands of people would have to be employed, true or false, to come live there and work. When they come there and they come and live and work, when you were at the University of Ghana, did you not have banks on campus?
Yeah.
You had banks on campus, right?
We did. There's a whole banking square.
Good. Now, you're going to bring in, banks. The banks are going to come to that university. If you build a regional hospital, you're employing thousands who are going to come there. Now, the moment that community begins to, it exports jobs, the community must begin to provide services for the people who have come to live there. When I went to the University of Cape Coast, there's this whole concept of diaspora. The surrounding communities, Apiosika, Amamoma, Kwapro, they built houses. And the students went to live there.
And all of that.
And they provided services. Students would, go for those services. That is how you do things. Tema, the industrial enclave, the harbour alone was able to trigger development within that enclave.
Of a whole city.
What are we talking about?
One of these days, if we have time, let's go through every government and the number of housing units they said they would build and the number they actually built. We have all that data from 1957 to 2026. We'll go through that and put them, give them some small fire. Anyway, if you go to the publisher, I'm on face by the attacks, Akoto marking to critics, Adamus U10, government flip-flop questioned, and NPP elections, Jacob miracles, 48 others pick forms. If you go to the Economic Times, BOG reviews collateral rules to tackle $4.8 billion SME financing gap, and rising producer cost threaten pace of Ghana's disinflation. And T-bill demand hits 14.3 billion Ghana cedis.
Let's go online now. The online news review brought to us by Zenith Bank. Aid your best interest.
Zenith Bank says send money from your Zenith Bank account to 27 African countries with PAPS. No stress, no delays. Dial star 966 hash, select Zenith Cash, choose cross-border transfers and simply follow the prompts. You can also enjoy the convenience of Zenith Internet Banking or visit any Zenith Bank branch nationwide for your cross-border transfers. Whether you are paying suppliers, supporting loved ones, or settling bills across the continent, Zenith Bank makes it fast, secure, and seamless with PAPS, the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. Start your cross-border PAPS transfers today with Zenith Bank and experience true convenience. Zenith Bank in your best interest. And if you go on myjoyonline.com there, top story is NPP MP Samuel Afenyo-Makin today over Sami Gyamfi's allegations. Parliament resumes today for 5 days sitting amid pending ministerial nominations. Republic Bank Joy News Habitat Fair. The mini clinic ended on a high note at Achimota Retail Center. Jesus was accused. He kept quiet. Afenyo-Makin on Sami Gyamfi allegations. Government to replace great
wait. So which is which? He also indicated that he was going to pursue legal action.
Yes.
In his statement.
So yesterday when Carlos Kaloni asked him that question on the probe, that was his answer. That the question was, are you going to sue? Well, he said, you take your time. Jesus was accused. He kept quiet. So that's the story myjoyonline.com has done. And government to replace grid-powered street lights with solar system station. Kwame Agboja is speaking. Yeah, we hope we do that. Of course, in the past we've heard a lot about that and whether or not that's been done or not. So, Agboja, up to you.
But have you noticed that the new solar street lights they fixed, they are not as bright as the previous street lights we had? They will be on, but you won't see 20 meters ahead of you. Anyway,
let's get into the stories
City
now.
Newsroom. If you go to City Newsroom, Parliament reconvenes today after Babin's recall. Government targets $112 billion pipeline investment for jobs, production. Xenophobic attacks. MTN Ghana commits 20 million Ghana cedis to support returnees. And Adamus welcomes 12-month government-backed plan to revive the mine.
Let's start this morning with, I think, the big story from last week through to the weekend. The story having to do with the allegations of extortion made against the minority leader. And the top story on myjoyonline.com says, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Makin is expected to face questions from MPs of the New Patriotic Party Parliamentary Caucus this morning of allegations of extortion made against him by the Ghana Gold Board. Joy News understands that some senior members of the MPP caucus consider the allegations serious and are demanding answers from the leader. Allegations were made at the seat of the presidency and on and on and on. So that is information that is being reported here about a potential questioning and answering from some of the senior MPP MPs who are very concerned about this and are going to be demanding answers from the minority leader. We do know, and of course I can confirm that as parliamentary reporter, that the meeting will be held this morning. My understanding from some people who are very familiar with the situation says this is a usual meeting because Parliament is expected to sit this morning and this week. They're expected to have this caucus meeting where they will address a couple of issues. But of course, this one will also be on the agenda. This particular source denies that this meeting was called purposely to question Alexander Afenyo-Makin on the allegations of extortions made against him. So that is also there.
Well, but even if, I mean, look, once allegations have been made against the majority leader, a minority leader, the NPP caucus in Parliament should be holding a meeting to speak to him.
Especially because of the nature of the allegations. Because according to the claims that have been made, Alexander Afenyo-Makin went to say he was asking for this money for the purpose of the caucus. Of course, he is completely categorically denied that.
Exactly. So he's denied that. And so it's important that the caucus would have discussions with him. Okay? And the caucus also, after the discussion, should make public the discussions because it's all part of accountability.
Yeah, but you see, this country we never do that, especially because of internal politics. It's almost like you are handing over your person to the other side.
No, but that's why we're calling on them to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be asking questions, and it's also important for Alexander Afenyo-Makin to clear his name.
Well, he had threatened to sue.
Yes.
And in fact, the words he used in that statement was that he was considering legal remedies. But yesterday on the
he
probe,
intends to pursue legal
remedies. Yes. If you listen to the probe, and that story is again on myjoyonline.com, it says minority leader Alexander Afenyo-Makin appears to have softened his earlier threat to pursue legal actions of allegations made by Gold Board CEO Sami Gyamfi of extortion against him. Mr. Afenyo-Makin had indicated in a Facebook post that he will seek legal remedies over what he described as defamatory allegations. But less than 24 hours later, the Futu MP adopted a more measured tone when asked whether he would indeed take Sami Gyamfi to court over the comments. Speaking on Joy News The Probe on Sunday evening, Alexander Afenyo-Makin declined to commit himself to legal action, instead invoking the biblical example of Jesus Christ, who he said remained silent despite being subjected to accusations. So this is going to play out within the week, and definitely I'm sure this week we'll get something definite to get the picture much clearer.
Let's go to the BNFT page 2. Strong GDP growth marks decades-long productivity decline. This according to former First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana. He's published a study, and basically The study says that Ghana celebrated economic growth in the decade preceding its debt crisis concealed a more troubling reality. The economy was expanding without undergoing the productivity and structural transformation required to sustain rising debt.
Okay, time now for the BBC News, brought to us by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us, Glyco, we cushion you for life. And Bell Malt, shine your greatness, Bell Malt, a new malt experience.
You can have your say about BBC World Service programmes. Let us know your thoughts, questions, praise or criticism, and I'll bring you the responses directly from the presenters, producers and editors. We'll also go behind the scenes for an in-depth look at how programmes are made.
Find out how you can get involved by searching BBC Over to You. Business Daily is in 30 minutes.
Europe is talking increasingly tough on its trade with China. With limited access to the US market, China, it claims, is now dumping subsidized goods into Europe, bankrupting its industries. But what is Brussels prepared to do about it?
This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Coming up from the BBC World Service, the interview, conversations with the people shaping our world with me, Anne Soy. For this episode, I speak to Maria Fernanda Espinosa, Ecuador's former foreign minister and a candidate to become the first woman Secretary General of the United Nations. She warns that the UN risks becoming irrelevant as it struggles to influence major conflicts and argues that restoring trust will require fundamental changes in how the organization works.
And sometimes we confuse activity with impact. And here I think the way we measure impact should be different. How many lives has the UN saved? How many people has the UN helped out of poverty? How many people have we prevented from conflict? How many people were we able to support?
Maria Fernanda Espinosa. Hear more on the interview after the news.
BBC News with Emily Thomas. The Pakistani Chief of Defence Forces travels to Iran today to try to reopen negotiations between Tehran and Washington. His visit comes as the US prepares to unveil more economic sanctions against Iran. Sanjay Dasgupta reports.
Field Marshal Munir's visit to Tehran coincides with an expected announcement on Monday of further US sanctions on Iran, which US officials say would be the toughest yet. Tehran remains defiant and continues to threaten strikes on any oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz that it considers unauthorized. But its economy is under pressure, battered by war, by a US naval blockade, and by high inflation. Its currency, the rial, has hit a record low.
International allies of Ukraine are meeting in Kiev as the country marks 35 years of independence. Britain's Prime Minister Andy Burnham will chair the event, where he's expected to hand over blueprints to allow Ukraine to build components for Scalp missiles. Dan Johnson is in Kiev.
The French and British jointly have agreed to release the patents and technology to Ukraine to produce its own variant of the Scalp or Storm Shadow missile. That's a cruise missile with a capability of about 150 miles. Those missiles will be useful, but I think this is more significant because it shows to Ukraine and hopefully to other influential nations that international partners and backers are willing to trust Ukraine with that technology so that it has the capacity to ramp up its own weapons production, and that, it will be hoped, will lead to Donald Trump agreeing to give the plans over for US Patriots.
Overnight, Ukraine said its drones hit a Russian MiG fighter plane and 2 Russian ships in the Black Sea. It's also continued to strike Russia's logistic facilities, with the retail group Ozon suffering hits on several of its warehouses in the country's southwest and in the North Caucasus. Russia's military, meanwhile, said its forces had attacked Ukrainian port infrastructure and vessels in the Odessa region. The regional administration there said a hypermarket was on fire and that food storage facilities and energy infrastructure had been struck. The president of the European Football Federation has ruled himself out as a candidate to replace the embattled head of the world governing body, Gianni Infantino. Here's Jane Dougal.
Alexander Schäferin has led the revolt against the president of World Football, stating that the body he heads, UEFA, would boycott FIFA competitions unless Gianni Infantino resigned. However, he has ruled himself out of the running to succeed Infantino were he to leave. In an interview with the Rest is Politics podcast, Schäferin said he didn't want the job because he loved working at UEFA and because his credibility would be higher if he wasn't interested in the position.
World News from the BBC. State media in Syria say the Foreign Minister Asad al-Shaybani met the Israeli spy chief Roman Goffman in Jordan on Sunday to try to diffuse tensions between the two countries. The talks were brokered by the US, which wants to restart negotiations between the two countries. Israel carried out 2 attacks on Syria this past week. A wildfire continues to burn uncontrolled in the US state of Nevada, forcing tens of thousands to leave their homes and schools to close. The hawk blaze on the outskirts of the city of Reno has charred more than 50 square kilometres of land and injured at least 6 people. The National Guard has been drafted in to support firefighting efforts and safeguard evacuated neighbourhoods. Some residents have been offered cut-price deals for rooms in the casinos for which Reno is best known. The US military says it's carried out another deadly strike on a suspected drug trafficking boat in the Eastern Pacific, killing 2 people. It said intelligence had revealed the vessel to be actively involved in what Washington calls narco-terrorist networks. The attack follows a series of similar strikes earlier this year. The authorities in China have launched an investigation into reports of formaldehyde being used to preserve the freshness of cabbages destined for human consumption. Laura Bicker reports from Beijing.
An environmental blogger released footage last week of cabbages being dipped in formaldehyde, a colourless chemical known to cause cancer. It is strictly prohibited in China. Authorities are now moving swiftly to try to prevent panic and restore confidence by carrying out spot checks on markets across the country. Chinese state media says investigators will also establish how widespread the practice is and take measures to trace affected vegetables. China grows nearly half of the world's cabbages, most of which are exported to neighbouring countries in Asia.
BBC News.
Welcome back. As I wait my guests to get ready, let me attempt to bring you my take. Immediately they start to come in, I'll stop and then direct you to read my right type for this particular take on my Joy Online. I title it A Critique of the Injunction Ruling for Trials in the Legal Vacation. So the Supreme Court's ruling delivered yesterday by His Lordship Gabriel Scott Poamang JSC, sitting as a single justice in the injunction application against the Chief Justice's 2 vacation courts with warrants in July, offers a fascinating window into public law jurisprudence. The court's analysis correctly highlights the importance of public interest, discretion, and the constitutional mandate under Article 19(1) for expeditious trials. Trials ought to be within a reasonable time. However, when examined through the lens of courtroom mechanics and the settled conventions of the bar, 2 critical observations at pages 9 and 10 of the ruling reveal a stark disconnect between theoretical legal principles and the practical realities of litigation practice. His Lordship's independent mind and scholarship is celebrated by the bar, and I did not have expectations his decision will align with any opinion, however popular within the bar, as popular as I have earlier expressed on this subject. In fact, the other title I intended to give for this article was A Critique of the Ruling in Terms of Judicial Discretion, Operational Realities, and the Myth of Voluntary Vacation. The myth of voluntary vacation. Number 1, he says that the lawyers are independent service providers. That assumption doesn't work. In dismissing the argument that compelling lawyers to attend court during the recess infringes on their right to satisfactory working conditions and health and Article 24. The court observed, quote, for the lawyers, they are independent service providers in court proceedings who are free to plan their leave at any time of the year. Being independent service providers, the responsibility for ensuring compliance with Article 24 is in the hands of individual lawyers, end quote. While it is legally accurate that a private legal practitioner is an independent contractor rather than a salaried employee governed by statutory labor leave, well, this is actually the case for some lawyers, though. Suggesting that a trial lawyer has the freedom to simply, quote, plan their leave at any time of the year overlooks the judicial docket function. During the 10-month legal term, litigation lawyers do not possess the luxury. We have no option at all. We do not have the authority to dictate a court's calendar. Hearing notices are issued, firm trial dates are fixed, and the courts sit continuously across all the tiers, from the lower to the superior. A lawyer cannot, I repeat, a lawyer cannot unilaterally freeze a court's dockets in March, in May, or in November to proceed on personal leave. It's just impossible. The lawyer cannot decide any time that they are taking their leave within the 10 months when the courts are in active session. So the statutory long vacation under Order 79 Rule 4 of CI 47 exists precisely because it provides the only predictable institutional window during which the superior courts naturally pause. They are on vacation. This structural lull allows practitioners to take necessary rest. We attend local and international bar conferences and restructure firm operations without placing our clients and their cases in jeopardy. So treating counsel or the lawyers as if they operate in a flexible open market where they can, at will, they have the option to pause court proceedings at will, does not fully reflect the non-negotiable nature of court schedules during the term time. One important thing, His Lordship, the court, acknowledge the fact, quote unquote fact, it's a fact, undisputable. No practicing lawyer, no lawyer in active practice, they don't even have to be in active practice, will dispute this fact unless they are on a propaganda that has no principles. The courts acknowledge the fact that legal vacations or lawyers are not compelled to do trials during legal vacations, and yet it ignored that it is a compulsion. So turning to the long-standing convention or practice of recess sittings or vacation sittings, the court explicitly conceded a key factual reality on page 10 of the ruling. Quote, the fact that lawyers and accused persons involved in criminal proceedings in the High Court usually do not, underline that, usually do not undertake hearings during legal vacations ought not be to be the reason why an interlocutory injunction ought to be granted against the Chief Justice and stopping the expeditious hearings of cases. Here, the ruling rightly acknowledges what every active lawyer, as I said, every active trial lawyer knows to be true. Criminal trials in the High Court are, by settled practice, not undertaken during the legal vacation. Yet, after admitting this factual baseline, the court declines to address the logical consequence of breaking that baseline, the element of real procedural compulsion. If the established convention is that in the superior courts, substantive trials pause during recess or the vacation, issuing a directive or warrant requiring a part-head criminal trial to proceed throughout August and September strips the lawyer of any voluntary choice. A lawyer faced with such an order is trapped in a difficult dilemma. One, if that lawyer appears, their statutory and conventional right to leave, rest, and professional planning is completely destroyed. Two, if the lawyer declines to appear in order to observe the vacation, the client's right to representation is compromised, or the client is coerced into self-representation during a critical, phase of the case. Calling such attendance voluntary, as the court said, voluntary, under the guise of being an independent service provider is difficult to sustain. I'm certain about that. By framing the Chief Justice's warrants, the two of them, solely as mechanisms to promote expeditious justice, the ruling does not fully engage with the fact that requiring full substantive trials during the vacation represent a significant departure from the very known practice it acknowledged in the judgment. In my respectful opinion, the argument by some that the accused may hire new counsel, or that the law firms handling these oral and or OSP cases have many lawyers who may be delegated to in the circumstances, does not take account of the constitutional imperative for the rights of the accused to counsel of their own choice. I must state that the administration of justice is undeniably served when cases are resolved expeditiously. However, expedition or expeditious justice must never be pursued at the expense of procedural fairness, of the fiscal well-being of those who operate the system. While the ruling firmly protects administrative discretion in public law, its underlying premises on pages 9 and 10 create an unworkable standard for practitioners. That I'm setting about. A fatigued bench and a bar cannot maintain the high standards required for sound justice until administrative reforms formally adjust how vacation rosters are structured, respecting the long-established conventions of the legal vacation and honoring the exercise of trial judges' discretion, as the Chief Justice said, and Articles 23 and 296 to indulge counsel remains the true safeguard of our legal architecture. And that's by way of my take. I'll be right back. Was he really serious about it? Did he sound like he was being a little jovial?
But what did I do? Me too. I just compared him to Kojo Ponkroma, Abna Sare. Kojo Ponkroma, Abna Sare, and me, Anta. All of whom are his colleagues in Parliament, MPP people, who have criticized us. And I said, when you listen to those criticisms, you see maybe lack of information, but they don't make it personal. But when you listen to him, you hear malice for Sammy Gyamfi. Either than that, who can read these IMF reports and even suggest that Sammy Gyamfi will have to meet onerous bail conditions to the tune of 22 billion? Because this issue is not about Sammy Gyamfi. So you see the smear campaign there. You get my point? Then he says, Obi Antongo de Moka. In this world, the most cheapest thing to trade is water. You went and supervised 4 consecutive years of losses at Ghana Water Limited when you were board chairman, from 2017 to 2024. A cumulative loss of 3.3 billion. You were sent to ECG as board chair. You supervised another loss of 8.2 billion cedis in 2024. What on Suaboka? What on Kenya Boka? You are not asked to meet any onerous bail conditions. Sammy Gyamfi that has not incurred any loss, it is me who will meet onerous bail conditions. So
that's the point.
So
if the audit, if the audit exonerates you from the claims he makes, but why should you reply in such measure?
No, but that is why I'm saying that just like he can criticize me, he's also not beyond reproach. You get my point? So Sammy Gyamfi should be criticized. Afenyo Makin should not be criticized. This is not an insult. I am showing you that this is your record. Cumulative loss of 3.3 billion at Ghana Water, 8.2 billion ECG. You are not facing any criminal action and onerous bail terms. Why should you project that on me when I have not made a loss? You see, my brother, There are many underlying issues between I and Afenyo Markin that you don't know and those watching don't know. I have appeared on Newsfile many times. Perhaps in this country, I have held more press conferences on political issues than anybody. Have you ever heard me use the word extortion against any of my critics? Have you ever heard me? Why will I use this word now? And why have you not heard Afenyo say anything?
But am I the only one who's realized that whenever Obete returns from the weekend, he drops a love song? DJ Obete, where is he? And when Obete returns on Monday mornings, he's dropping love songs.
Yes.
Obete, what have you been experiencing over the weekend? Anyway, talking about things over the weekend during Newsfile, CEO of Gold Board, Sami Jemfi, has been explaining why the institution has not recorded any losses under his leadership. He also highlights what he describes as losses incurred under the NPP's domestic gold purchase program while defending Gold Board's current operations. Let's listen to Sami Jemfi.
The first sentence of this paragraph 13 of the IMS report on selected issues discloses something really serious. It says that the domestic gold purchase program operations have generated significant losses for the BOG. Losses in 2024 were equivalent to almost $400 million. What does this reveal? It reveals that the Bank of Ghana, under the NPP and under the leadership of Philip Addison, covered up domestic gold purchase program losses for 2024 in the audited financials of the Bank of Ghana. How do you say that? You recall that in December, when the first IMF report disclosing a loss of $240 million came out, I came to the studio. Yeah. And I read to you from my phone losses that domestic gold purchase program had incurred from inception 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. That's right. The MPP rep on the show, Kabiru, also read from the MPP's audited financials and told you that the figures I am quoting are not in the audited accounts. And so I had to give you my phone and told you to confirm whether that message had not been sent to me by the governor. Do you recall that? That's correct. You also recall that the governor himself went to the Public Accounts Committee, where the chairperson, Abnasari, asked him to confirm whether losses were made under domestic gold purchase program in 2024. When the governor mentioned that a loss of 5-point-something billion was made in 2024, the lady said it is not true, and that the governor should show her which part of the 2024 audited financial statement of the Bank of Ghana discloses that figure. Because that figure is not there. So they were covering up their domestic gold purchase program losses. And that is why Afenyo Markin can sit on TV and say, why in the tone gold boka? Forgetting that from 2021 to 2024, they made losses upon losses under domestic gold purchase program. Because the intention was not profit and loss. The policy intention was national economic stability through foreign exchange generation, as I have already explained. You see, so the IMF has actually exposed a cover-up of losses that Ghanaians would have never known occurred in 2024.
So that's CEO of Gold Board, Sami Jemfi. And I look at the IMF document. Says that DGPP, domestic gold purchase operations, have generated significant losses for BOG. Losses in 2024 equivalent to almost $400 million, 0.5% of GDP, 1/3 of which were related to the G4O, gold for oil. In 2025, the significant scaling up of the domestic gold purchase program operations led to loss of over $1.7 billion, almost entirely related to gold for reserve purchases. This amounted to a loss of 17% of the value of Dory gold sold by BOG. Losses accrued on gold trades are a combination of services and assay fees paid to Gold Board, discounts on gold sold to off-takers, as exporters, and most importantly, exchange rate losses from the spread between the Forest Bureau rate paid to purchase gold and the CD reference rate used for the BOG accounting. Okay. And so I understand right now why it's important to look into this whole domestic gold purchase program. Because this document talks about the fact that the losses are a combination on gold trades, are a combination of services and assay fees paid to Gold Board. That's one. Discount on gold sold to off-takers, that's the exporters. And most importantly, exchange rate losses from the spread between the Forest Bureau rate paid to purchase gold and the CD's reference rate used for the BOG accounting. So that will tell you, and that's where the conversion of accounting losses and all of that will come in. But hey, the most important thing is that at the end of the day, the country Ghana must realize that and must come to a conclusion that whatever it is that we're doing with the domestic gold purchase, yes, the special operations, let's come to a conclusion on what we want to achieve with it. If consistently we're making losses, a few things will come to mind. For me, I ask, how is it possible? At what prices do we buy these gold? Okay? When we are buying the gold, the people that we buy the gold from, do we buy the gold from them using Bank of Ghana rates or we use Forex Bureau rates? If we use Forex Bureau rates, the challenge is that when Bank of Ghana is accounting, Bank of Ghana would account with the Bank of Ghana rates. Why would that be a difficult? I mean, why would the Bank of Ghana, for instance, or Gold Board buy gold using Forex rates? And I would tell you that's okay.
You see, I see the difficulty with this rate conversation. So, I mean, during the period under reference, Gold Board was literally an aggregator for the Bank of Ghana. So they go and buy the gold at spot price because gold, because of the threat of smuggling, the price is competitive. If the global price is say $1,000 an ounce, and I'm just using that as a reference rate, you cannot go below it, because if you do that, or if you go significantly below that, people are going to find a way to give it to the Indians and the Chinese around, and you smuggle it out of the country. So you buy it at the spot rates, then you go and give it to the Bank of Ghana, and then when the Bank of Ghana is going to do its trade, the Bank of Ghana usually is forced to use the rate it has set. So, or the rate that it has announced. So as of this morning, the Bank of Ghana will publish it at 8 o'clock a.m. and it will say that CD to a dollar is 10.9. Meanwhile, they bought the dollar, they bought the gold at 11.5. So that exchange law, and some will say that this is just a paper loss, because ultimately it's just an accounting balance. So the Bank of Ghana, the Bank of Ghana is forced to sell at the rate, because you can't be Bank of Ghana where your reference rate is 10.9 and then you are going out there selling gold or doing something else for a rate that is higher than that. What does that say about the rate you've published? So there is that difficulty that the Bank of Ghana always has to deal with, compared to the gold that you buy from the market, which is at very competitive prices. So there's that exchange rate laws that is going to happen. But there's also the question about the fees that Gold Board charge for assaying and all of that. There are those that have said that those fees were very high, and we understand they've been scaled down considerably to a certain point. So it goes back to the point that you make, and I agree with you that Gold Board, the Bank of Ghana, because this is something we're going to do, and now that we've done what we say we want to do, GANRAP, and build 15 months of import cover by 2028, it means we're going to be very aggressive in that. These same risks are very much alive from now to 2020 when we're going to do that. It's possible that we're going to make the same losses much more, or even in a lesser fashion. So we need to fashion a way to try and bring down the losses while still looking at the national goal of what we want to do. At the end of the day, what you want to do is to be able to build a resilient economy that is resilient to the shocks of external shocks.
Okay, so and that actually calls, good point, but that actually raises questions about the traceability of the gold we buy.
Yeah.
Because look, if you're going to buy gold, okay, from a small scale mining company, if I buy gold from you, I am going to pay you, and I say I'm paying you with dollars. What I have to do, unfortunately, we have said in this country that all payments should be made in cedis. Fortunately, unfortunately, you said the payments made in cedis. So you're going to pay cedis. But in signing agreements, and one of the things we should be doing going forward is that any company that is giving license, I need to check whether that is being done. When you say a percentage of this gold will be sold to the state or will be sold to the Gold Board, the Gold Board should be buying that at the Bank of Ghana reference rate. That is what you trade. See, the Bank of Ghana reference rate is the official rate. Asante.
Yeah.
That is the official rate for accounting purposes. The Bank of Ghana rate.
Yeah.
So if the Bank of Ghana rate is the official rate, I understand.
But this morning, we just did a story on my journalline.com or one of the papers. That this morning or last week, when we said the banks are trading at different places and other things.
Today, I said the Bank of Ghana rate.
Yes.
I didn't say the interbank rate.
Yeah.
The Bank of Ghana rate is 1.
But it's always very little, less compared to the interbank rate.
It is 1. Bank of Ghana rate, 1.
Yes.
For purposes of analysis, Bank of Ghana rate. When you use the Bank of Ghana rate, the expectation then is that we understand that, okay, these people, because you need to buy from them and they have other markets, if you don't buy, they'll find ways and means and go and sell it.
They don't sell it.
You need to be competitive. Okay, so how do you ensure that you are competitive with these, domestic good producers? And that is why I think that we must take a critical look at these whole operations of Gold Board. It must not just be, why are people trying to say Gold Board has made losses? No. The domestic gold purchase program itself needs a critical review. And they must bring the documents for all of us to go through and come to a conclusion. The essence of accountability is that there should be transparency. See, with that transparency, there's an article that says Siamese twins matching concerts or unrelated whatever. Transparency and accountability are always related. You know why? Because if you don't know the process, how can you question it?
Yeah.
You must see what is happening. Let them open the books. Let them bring the documents. Let's review them, all of us.
Yeah.
And
that's why I like the idea that Parliament must probe this. I don't see the minority's point of getting a special committee because I think, what difference does it make if it's Public Accounts Committee, Economic Committee, or Finance Committee? It doesn't make much of a difference because at the end of the day, the committees of Parliament have certain powers to invite people, to inspect documents, to demand them. So if Public Accounts Committee is chaired by Abinal Siasari, if it's the Economic Committee, Kojo Nkrumah is the ranking on that committee. If the Finance Committee, Mohammed Amin Adam is there, former Finance Minister. These are guys who know their stuff. So I see that the minority want a special committee. I don't think they'll get that because obviously the last time they tried in Parliament, they failed. The majority shut that down. But they can use the existing committees to do this. And I like that point. If we're able to do this, open the books up, we'll get to see some of the intricate details that the public is not aware so far.
Okay. Let's get interactive this morning here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Join us on X. Use the hashtag JoySMS. Then on WhatsApp 055-1111-997. Alright, there are so many of you sending messages about airfares. It's not easy, Charlie. If you have to go to Kumasi, for those of us who cannot be in traffic for 7 to 8 hours that you want to fly in and out of Kumasi, I just checked, and the cheapest you would get is over 4,000 Ghana cedis. How? 4,000 Ghana cedis.
Is there a return ticket?
Yeah, round trip.
Charlie, it costs more than traveling from.
Yeah. But look, Asante, what if your phone just buzzed and you realize Cowbank has just credited your account with 5,000 Ghana cedis? How would you feel? You're literally screaming Abakade in the middle of wherever you are. And that's exactly what is happening right now with the Cowbank Abakade promo. And yes, all you have to do, deposit 500 Ghana cedis or more into your Cowbank account and stay fully active every month. 5 lucky winners take home 5,000 Ghana cedis. Another grand draw. One fully active Cowbank customer walks away with 100,000 Ghana cedis. The best part, the more you deposit, the better your chances of winning. You can deposit straight from your Cowbank app or USSD via mobile money. At any Cowbank branch or agent near you, you can also use any of our cash accepting ATMs. Honestly, there's no excuse. Do not sleep on this one. Move money into your Cowbank account right now, and you could win big in the Abakade promo. The Cowbank Abakade promo runs from now till the 31st of October 2026. Cowbank Forward Together. Terms and conditions apply, and this promo is regulated by NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Introducing Valex Lease Equip Limited, Ghana's leading photocopier leasing company. Why buy a multifunctional photocopier when you can lease and pay as you copy or print, or design your own payment plan? Lease an A4, A3 heavy-duty MFP with sorter, stapler, finisher, production machine with sorter, stapler, finisher, and enjoy free toners, cartridges, free repairs, free maintenance, follow me printing, centralized monitoring of all staff, and nationwide coverage. Forget about your unnecessary expensive gimmicks and save yourself over 60% cost. Join the hundreds of satisfied customers across every sector and all the 16 regions and lease an MFP from us. Visit us at www.valexlease.com or call us on 0244 644 048, 0535 208 661 0208 603 3312. Remember, Valleys Lease is a wholly Ghanaian company. Valleys Lease, affordable document management solutions.
And if you're looking for a water tank, you know you need to go get a Syntex tank. It's the tank with a tortoise on it, the champion of water tanks. It's strong, it's durable, it's built to handle our Ghanaian weather. Rain or shine, Syntex tank has your back, and you can join the Syntex tank family today and enjoy water storage that's tough like a tortoise. You can call 0244 335 168 to buy now, or find one of the 400 agents nationwide. You can also shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, air strong, air tough.
And from now to the end of October 2026, Bank of Africa is offering short-term loans at very slim rates to salaried workers. Now, they understand you have urgent needs to sort out, and that's why they give you that quick turnaround time. So whether it's school fees, car maintenance, or that much-deserved family vacation, Bank of Africa will sort you out fast. Visit the nearest branch or chat Fafa at boaghana.com to sign up. You may also WhatsApp them on 024433H226 for inquiries. Terms and conditions apply. Sometimes all you need is a quick fix. Bank of Africa, strong as a group, as close as a partner.
CAS Christian Boarding School is calling. Career parents, let's be honest. You leave home at 5, traffic, meetings, one more call before you can go. You get back at 8, tired, and you still want your child taught well, fed well, and prayed over. That's a lot to carry alone. We have come to help career parents. We take children from 2 years right through to JHS, small classes, proper meals, homework supervised, and devotion every day. In a safe, Christ-centered home at Sawam, in Sawam, Akwemo. Admissions are ongoing. For more information, visit our website at www.caschristian.com or call us on 0557 059214 or 0557 059215. That is 0557 059214 or 0557 059215. CAS Christian Boarding School, a caring home away from home.
And Total Energies has the Total Excellium new formula. It has a 3-in-1 action. It cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption. And it also has the cumulative effect of the anti-corrosion, anti-wear detergent adjectives, and it lowers your vehicle's fuel consumption while reducing CO2 emissions. So go to any Total Energies outlet today. Fill your tank with Excellium new formula. Your drive, sir. Experience the difference with Total Energies Excellium new formula. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Now, if you do business with China, I'm sure by now you know that making payment isn't always straightforward for businesses. It often means sourcing US dollars, absorbing multiple currency conversion costs, and waiting days for suppliers to receive payment. For importers, every delay can hold up shipments and slow down sales. And for individuals paying school fees, medical expenses, or supporting loved ones in Ghana, the process can be longer and more complicated than it needs to be. Stanbic Bank, in partnership with the Industrial Commercial Bank of China, has introduced CIPS, a faster, secure, and direct way to make payments to China. With CIPS, you can pay in Ghana cedis while the recipient collects in Chinese yuan directly. This way, you save money and time, trade with China, pay directly. Visit your nearest Stanbic Bank branch or speak to your relationship manager today. Call them on 0302 815 789.
We don't talk enough about how stressful it can be to figure out what nourishing breakfast to give kids every morning. That's why Milo All-in-One is such a great option. It has a creamy, delicious taste the kids can't have enough of. But there's more to Milo All-in-One than that rich, milky, chocolatey taste. There's so much goodness in every pack. Just take a moment to read the back of the pack and see for yourself. Its important nutrients combined with malt that supports energy release, cocoa for that rich taste, and milk for calcium to support them as they grow. So keep choosing Milo All-in-One, not just for that special taste, but also for the nourishing goodness. Milo, energy to go further.
Kwaku, one of these days I'll take you to the Heritage Christian University campus in Amsterdam. It's a beautiful campus. And if you go to Heritage, you are assured of values-driven education that prepares you for the world of work and challenges you to turn ideas into businesses that feed families and employ communities. So if you're a parent, if you are looking for a great school for your child, admission is in progress for the their wide range undergraduates, the wide range of undergraduate and graduate programs, really. So you can go to hcu.edu.gh, that's their website, hcu.edu.gh, or you can call them on 0547 777731. Heritage Christian University, educating compassionate entrepreneurial leaders.
So why stress yourself when you can dig the soft life? Well, with Fidelity Bank Digital Banking, you can use the mobile app to send money, pay your bills, buy airtime and data. You can also pay with GHQR, shop securely with your Fidelity Visa card, and even get instant support from Kukwa, our WhatsApp banking assistant, wherever you are. Sign up with the Fidelity Digital Banking today. Take the soft life. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
Geisha. It's a season of activities from today. Enjoy mobile time for less. With Geisha soap, get your favorite Geisha aloe, rose, lemon, shea butter, and coconut 180 gram for 10 Ghana cedis, and your Geisha black soap 180 gram for 12 Ghana cedis too. Visit a shop or supermarket for yours now. Geisha, a gift from nature, wrapped by Geisha. Keep it out of reach of children. This advert is FDA approved.
And the original Bell Malt non-alcoholic malt drink is back. It's back on the market. It's reloaded with a bang, bringing you an enjoyable malt refreshment every day. Its taste has been reimagined to be smoother, creamier, and more refreshing than ever before. It's carefully crafted with quality ingredients, and the new Bell Malt is made for everyone who celebrates their greatness every day, whether you're at work, at home, spending time with family and friends, or simply taking a well-deserved break. The new Bell Malt non-alcoholic malt drink original is a refreshing companion for every occasion. So join the movement. Visit your nearest store to experience the new Bell Malt and share your Bell Malt moments on Instagram and TikTok with the handle Bell Beverages GH. If you want to order in bulk, you can call 0544 335900. Bell Malt, shine your greatness. Bell Malt, a new malt experience. And this advert is FDA approved.
Stay with us. We'll return with sports, birthday messages, and food for thought after these.
Driver, can I send Momo to your personal number?
I was thinking about that. Or challenge me. Or threaten to sue. So the MPP people talking, there are things you don't know. I will not just, I'm a consummate Democrat. I eat and drink debates. I'm not worried.
Call the minority leader an extortionist.
I'm not worried if you criticize me. Yes. And that is why he cannot comment on that or even challenge me. He cannot. Because he knows that what I said is true. So there are many things that you may not have the benefit of. But let me talk about my good brother.
Fioma King is a self-made man.
No problem.
He's got the chain of businesses.
Maybe tell him that.
Why does he need to come and extort money from Gold Ball?
Tell him that you want to be his lawyer so that he sues Sami Jenfi to substantiate that claim. Tell him. Or tell him that you give him an interview here and Sami Jenfi will come and that you should dare Sami Jenfi. That is not an insult. I'm speaking about what has happened and he knows. Now, finally, my good brother, Honorable Nilante van der Poel. And here I want to address our rank and file.
We're told his campaign is doomed.
Yeah. I want to address our rank and file. Honorable Nilante van der Poel is one of the people who have been very supportive of my young political career projection. I consider him a senior brother. And I know that he harbors no ill will towards me. But we are all not perfect. Sometimes, in communicating, something may come across in a way we never intended it. The man says he's sorry. I believe it ends there. Yesterday, I had a very hearty conversation with him, and we've put it behind us because at the end of the day, we in the NDC have a party to build and a nation to govern. And so that is all I want to say about that. But you see, the feedback that some of the comparisons and the words were strong is duly understood and taken in good faith. But I have explained to you that that is how you crash deliberate, malicious smear campaigns. When somebody wants to, for 3 months, Sami Jenfi, gold board, you don't give such a person a peg on the cheek, a hug, and a bouquet of flowers.
Okay.
You call him out for the world to know that what he's doing is not born out of any quest for accountability. It is personal. And the reason why he's on that personal smear campaign is extortion.
Don't repeat that.
I've told you.
All right, thank you. You are CEO of a very important state institution. You are contributing greatly to the stabilization of, our economy, so to speak. And yet, when you hold a press conference, they expect the Sami Jenfi CEO and not the Sami Jenfi who was doing political campaign, speaking for his party. Your choice of words directed at the minority leader and some other persons. What do you have to say about that? Because one of your own, Van der Poel, even had to say that you miscommunicated.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he's under siege. He's had to come and apologize.
All right. Now, I'll deal with these two issues quickly. Right now, you've hosted me for more than an hour, I guess, right?
We're into the hour now.
Have I spoken like a chief executive officer or as a
You've been dealing with numbers in ways that some people may not even grasp.
Good.
Welcome back. Birthday messages here on the Super Morning Show, brought to us by MTN. Everywhere you go, Bank of Africa and the Ghana Association of Banks say, shine your eye. If you don't share it, they can't have it. Spot the fraud, stop the fraud. And Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone Papa. Now, we'll bring you the birthday messages shortly, but time now for Sports Center, and it's brought to us by MTN. Switch to MTN's eSIM. Download my MTN app to go SIMless today. Standard Chartered Bank, here for good. DSTV, home of entertainment and high sense everyday prices for everyday people.
MTN just brought the prices down and the speeds are up on the MTN fiber for home, and your whole household is about to feel it. Movie nights that don't buffer, schools, assignments that submit on time, work calls that don't drop, and your side hustle running smooth in the background. 3 unlimited speed tiers, one amazing network. Now you can enjoy 100 megabits per second for 299 CDs, 300 megabits per second for 444 CDs, and 500 megabits per second for 999 CDs all per month. Pick what fits your home. No data caps, no slowdown, just fiber built for real life. MTN fiber for home, your speed, your home, your choice only. MTN everywhere you go. And Bachelor Achu is here. Achu, you should look for one of these for your home. Now you are a single man in the house, so 290. The 100 megabits looks like it'll be okay for you.
When you say now, I've always been single. Are you married?
Please do your sports.
Are you married? Don't mind that young man. Good morning, everyone, and welcome aboard to the Joy Sports Center. My name is Victor Achutamaklu. The countdown is on for the 2026 Joy Sports Invitational Tournament, with excitement building ahead of Saturday's event as more companies get ready to compete for glory when the tournament starts at the University of Ghana Stadium at 7 a.m. on Saturday. Access Pension, they say they are keeping their cards close to their chest to catch their opponents by surprise.
See, we can't tell you where our people are. It's strategic. It's very intentional. And you see, when you mention our CEO, you have to take your time. You see, the big man here is Lamine Yamal, so you can imagine the CEO himself. He's a goal! He's a goal! See, you see, let's do some small maths. Let's do some small maths. If less, what? More divide. You get it? So Ima is less. Ima is Lamine. How much more the CEO? He's the goal.
In fact, they're not just reliable. They are one of the best pension management companies in the continent. About 10 years ago, when they were adjudged the best pension management company in Africa, it wasn't out of the blue. It's because of the quality of work that they render here.
Meanwhile, the National Identification Authority have promised to overpower their companies with the help of data.
You already mentioned data. We are the data house of this country. And that is why every other team should be scared of us. Because we have identified every team player in this tournament. We have verified them. We have tracked them. Their performance. And whilst other teams are going to rely on luck, we are relying on scientific methods. We are analyzing their performance. Every single pass on that field would be deliberate and with precision of intelligence from data analytics. NI is unique. NI is the foundation of digital transformation in this country. What we basically want to do is to provide clean data for the nation to ensure that everything in this country is data-driven, and then make sure that all processes in government are based on a key digital public infrastructure, which is identity.
Royal Kingdom Estate also are participating in this year's Joy Sport Invitational. They say they are coming to distribute litigation-free goals.
The way we give litigation-free land is the same way we give litigation-free goals. But You understand? No VRA needed. Yes, someone watch it. One time. That's the same way we do in the town. Why should people patronize Royal Kingdom Estate?
Very simply, because we are the one-stop shop. We do lands, we do homes, we do apartments, we do architecture and engineering services, and then we have general construction, project management, and facility management. So everything related to real estate, that's what we are about. Okay, so you can get in touch with us through our social media platforms, through our contacts, through emails. So we have the sales at royalkingdomestate.com, and we have info@royalkingdom.com. We are very prompt with responses, so it doesn't matter the time you're going to reach out to us. We'll definitely respond as soon as your message comes in.
Well, if you're a company and you're interested in joining this stellar cast of those who are participating in the Joy Sport Invitational, you can register by contacting Slevin on 0242 376 445 via WhatsApp or direct phone call. Registration forms are also available at the front desk of Joy FM. Now, the Ghana Premier League transfer window closed last night ahead of the new season on September 4. Former Accra Lions midfielder Dominic Insobile's move to Accra Hatzabuk and former Kotoko striker Kwame Opoku's move to Gold Stars were among the last-minute deals that were completed ahead of the new campaign. The third edition of the Democracy Cup, meanwhile, is happening this Friday at the Babara Sports Stadium in Kumasi, with Kotoko taking on Accra Hatzabuk. Kotoko boss Eric Tinkler is looking forward to the fixture.
And put on a good performance, especially at home, especially in front of our own fans. You know, I've been involved in a number of derbies back in South Africa, so looking forward to this because I believe it's a big derby here in Ghana and we expect a big crowd. And obviously I want to please the Asante Kotoko fans, obviously with the win.
Well, that was Eric Tinkler, the head coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, speaking there. Let's talk about the women's game. And Ampem Dakon ladies, they will begin their CAF Women's Champions League qualifying journey today at 3 p.m. when they take on Cote d'Ivoire's ASEC Mimosa at 3 p.m. in Ouagadougou. It's their first Group B game in the Waffle B qualifying tournament. Their head coach, Charles Anoche, is confident about their chances.
We are ready, and we've put the girls in shape, and we know that all the teams within the group are coming out with a lot of experiences, and we are also, in contention. Dakwa representing Ghana is coming to at least put up their best up, so that at least we qualify from the group and then head towards the Champions League.
Now, former Ghana captain Andrea Ayew believes Otto Addo should have been sacked earlier, particularly after Ghana failed to qualify for the 2025 African Cup of Nations. It was the first time in more than 20 years that the Black Stars had missed the tournament, yet Addo remained in charge and went on to lead Ghana to the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualification. He was eventually dismissed just 72 days before the start of the tournament.
I think Otto Addo, it was a call that maybe should have happened long way before. It's a call that should have happened long way before. I think when you're Ghana, you don't qualify for the AFCON, you can't go further. That's my point of view. Played under him when he was assistant, as a coach, etc. But after that, he was able to also qualify us to the World Cup. So then, it balances.
That was Andrea Ayew speaking there when he met the Nigerian greats John Obi Mikel. Ayew has not played for Ghana since March 2024 after Otto Addo decided to move on from him. Let's talk about the Premier League. And Liverpool snatched a dramatic 2-2 draw with Newcastle United at the St James's Park on Sunday as Dominic Szoboszlai converted a stoppage time penalty. Man City's post-Pep Guardiola era began with Josko Vardiol's stoppage time winner and in a 2-1 victory at home to AFC Bournemouth in Enzo Maresca's first Premier League game. An unpredictable weekend also saw Premier League side Aston Villa lose by 4-0 to Brighton and Hove Albion. Ibrahim Osman came off the bench to make his Premier League debut for Brighton. Hull City on Saturday marked their return to the Premier League after a 9-year absence with a deserved 2-0 victory over Manchester United on Saturday. Abdul Fattah Issahaku also started for Ipswich Town as they secured a 2-1 win against Sunderland. And Tottenham Hotspur, their lavish summer spending spree could not prevent a 3-0 drubbing at Brentford in that game. Mohamed Kudus could only watch that game from the stands. In Spain, Barcelona began their La Liga title defense and bid for a third successive crown with a 5-0 victory at Elche on Sunday as Rafinha and Fermin Lopez scored twice each in that game. Real Madrid also, they managed to beat Espanyol thanks to a 90th minute winner from Carlo Espi. That game finished by 2-1 in that game. And in Formula 1, Lando Norris gave McLaren a third successive Dutch Grand Prix victory on Sunday in a tense race of shifting fortunes that had to be restarted after home hero Max Verstappen crashed on the opening lap. Mercedes' Kimi Antonelli finished second to increase his championship lead, with teammate George Russell obeying orders to let the Italian through late in the race and then holding off Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton for third, ending the Joy Sports Centre.
Thank you very much, Victor Achu Tamaklu, for joining us with the latest in the world of sports. And this means we can bring you food for thought now. And food for thought is brought to us by Roverman Productions. B, the difference. Uncle, good morning.
My favorite about you say, God is still taking good care of his children, isn't he?
Absolutely.
That is wonderful. It's always good to hear your voice. I realized that the title of my next play always amuses you. Honey Trap.
You know why it amuses me? Because I look at the script and it says Honey Trap.
Yes.
But because you pronounced it as Honey Trap, and knowing what you do with your titles, I'm like, is Uncle communicating something to us?
All right, from now on, it's Honey Trap.
Oh, well, that even makes it serious.
All right, so it is on 4th, 5th, and 6th of September, and then the week after that, 11th, 12th, and 13th of September. Winston will give you more details. And remember, for couples, it's 250 per head and not 300 per head. This morning, permit me to start my presentation with a quote from Napoleon Hill. And here's the quote. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. And better tools will be found as you go along. This morning, I'm going to tell you what I imagine happened inside the Oval Office in the White House in the United States of America on the 12th of April, 1961. The Cold War between the US and Soviet Union is at its most intense. The US has always felt they have the upper hand in this war. But on this day in April 1961, President J.F. Kennedy, only 4 months in office, and his cabinet and team of advisors are shocked at the breaking news. And the news is the Soviet Union had just succeeded in taking a man, Yuri Gagarin, to orbit the Earth and back safely. The atmosphere in the Oval Office is tense and somber. America has not been ignorant of the Soviet Union's space program, and America itself also has its own program. But this feat by the Soviet Union put them ahead of the US, and the Americans know that matching the feat would mean nothing. They would have to do better and raise the bar so high that it would end the space race altogether. Imagine the pressure and weight of responsibility on President Kennedy. Remember, only 4 months in office. But this was a president who though young, was no pushover. After consultations, President Kennedy decides to use his speech to the special joint session of the United States Congress on 25th of May, 1961, to announce, and this is the announcement. I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. End of quote. The American answer to Soviet Union beating them to space was that they would take a man to the moon and bring him back safely within 10 years. It would effectively wipe out the Soviet advantage and end the space race. The only problem was that America, and indeed no one else, knew how to do it. And America did not have the technology yet to achieve the goal President Kennedy has set for the nation. But once the goal was set and the commitment made to its realization, the how began to emerge. And on my birthday in 1969, that is on 20th July 1969, 9 years after Kennedy's announcement of the goal, Apollo 11 landed on the moon, and astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin set foot on the lunar surface. This morning, with that bit of history in mind, I want us to reflect on the statement from Napoleon Hill that I started my presentation with. Remember, he wrote, quote, "Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along," end of quote. And that is how America accomplished the goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth within a decade. America did not have the know-how, but they did not wait. They started where they were and worked with whatever tools and knowledge they had at the time, and better tools and knowledge came as they went along. There's a little passage in scripture that underscores this principle. According to the Gospel of Mark, on the morning of the resurrection, Mary Magdalene and the other women who had been with Jesus, unaware that Jesus had risen from the dead, set out for the tomb with spices to finish the task of burying him properly, since they had not finished it on the Friday because the Sabbath was approaching. On the way, it occurred to them that they did not have what it would take to remove the stone from the entrance to the tomb, but they did not allow that to stop them. They went to the tomb anyway, and when they got there, they discovered the tomb had already been opened. The stone had been rolled away. A lot of us hold ourselves back because we are waiting for the right time to start our project or to launch our dream. Or we are waiting to have all the resources and equipment we need before we start. And because of that, we have not started anything and we have not accomplished anything. As Napoleon Hill says, the time will never be just right. You may not have all the resources, but start with what you have, and somehow things will begin to happen for you. Waiting for the right time is a form of self-deception. It is a trick for stopping yourself from doing what you have to do because the right time never comes. So, stop waiting for the right time. Today, this moment is as good a time as any to do what you really want to do. So start now. And as you said, that's my presentation for this morning.
I like that. You know, it reminds me of Ralph Marston, his The Daily Motivator. Okay. There's one of those that he says, someday has never come. Yes. So whoever says, oh, I'll start tomorrow. No, start now. Start now. Because, someday will never come. And the tomorrow that you talk about, it's actually today. One of my former bosses, Wilson Arthur, says, okay, today would end at midnight. Okay? Once it ends at midnight, it is today. Okay? So whatever it is, you have one day. Start the work.
It never stops. Actually, it never stops being today.
No, it's always today. By the time it gets to 12 midnight, it's still today.
It's today.
It's still today. So, whatever you do it today. Start now. Thank you very, very much, Uncle White, for joining us with Food for Thought, brought to us by Roverman Productions. Be the difference. Time now for the Joy Business Minute, brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you. Anointed Engineering Services, the Generator Experts, Palladium Residences, Live Smart, Invest Better, and SkyStar Technologies. Performance that delivers every time. Pegasus Publishing, shaping minds, winning futures.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you. Anointed Engineering Services, the Generator Experts, Palladium Residences, Live Smart, Invest Better, SkyStar Technologies, performance that delivers every time, and Pegasus Publishing, shaping minds, winning futures. Ghana's economy is expected to see more than 18,000 jobs created from foreign direct investment recorded in 2025, according to the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority's annual investment data. Finance Minister Dr. Kansela Tuforsen says the government's debt restructuring program has helped stabilize the economy, including reducing annual debt servicing costs to less than 20% of revenue mobilized. Meanwhile, government treasury bills recorded 162% oversubscription, with investors showing strong interest in the 364-day bill. And in Canada, Prime Minister Mark Carney's government reportedly sees little chance of resuming trade talks with US President Donald Trump. And that's the Joy Business Minute.
Welcome back from the Joy Business Minute. And Anointed Engineering Services Limited is into the sales of ultra-silent, fuel-efficient diesel generating sets with sizes ranging from 5 kVA to 3,000 kVA at competitive prices. And for every generator you acquire, you'll enjoy a 5-year warranty. They also undertake maintenance and repairs of all kinds of diesel generating sets. Their services include a 24-hour emergency service, sale of genuine spare parts, reliable rental service, professional advice, as well as sale of tower lights and rental. Located at East Legon branch at 26 Boundary Road, Legon, close to AH Hotel. Head office at number 77 Anointed House on the main Odoko Malam Highway, near the Odoko traffic light. They also have 21 branches nationwide. They are into skill training. They have a training school that trains students in generators and plants, auto mechanics, electricals and controls, and solar installations, offering 80% hands-on training and 20% theory. Call them on 0243480334 or 0246423534. Anointed, the generator expert.
So, Honey Trap is here, in partnership with National Theatre.
Honey Trap.
It's not honey.
Honey.
Honey. Honey.
Yes.
Honey.
Ha, ha.
Honey Trap, in partnership with National Theatre and Joy FM, Roman Production presents an Ebo White original play, Honey Trap. Honey Trap shows on the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 11th, as well as 12th and 13th September 2026 at the National Theatre. The rates, 300 cedis per show for individual persons, 500 per show for couple, and 225 for holders of the Roverman loyalty cards. Tickets are available via the Rover app. Call by short code *365 *535# Wakana offices on the Boundary Road and in American House and Opebia House and at Roverman's usual outlets at Joy FM from the Shell Shops at Airport, Tema Community 11 and Downsoman and at Bachuna Total Shop. For inquiries and large orders, call 0505 460 010. That is 0505 546 010 or WhatsApp 0505 546 030. Sponsors Wakana, Apotica, Korba, Management, Communication Partners, M-Notify, and Logistics Movers. Roverman Productions, be the difference.
And on social media messages brought to us by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, number 10 liver salt, a refreshing relief. Cowbell Coffee with you every month. We want to know what your thoughts are on this whole, brouhaha concerning gold board and concerning losses as a result of the domestic gold purchase program. Kojo Boateng says, who are the people that we give the money to?
That's number one.
We should know them.
Yeah. Number two, we used to export a certain quantity of gold. Now, this year, we are number 6 globally, right? So at least we have a sense of every geographical area, every mine, every aggregator, and how much gold they are buying. Mm-hmm. We also know that the minerals, the minerals are owned by the states. So the fact that you're a business working in the gold system doesn't give you the right over our minerals. So this whole matter of the BOG buys at this rate, gold board buys at that rate, for me, it doesn't work with me. If the law says, or if our strategy is to buy at the BOG rates, we can fix that. We know the volume.
How do you deal with it?
Okay, so hold on. Could you, a bit of information there. So, what is published on the Bank of Ghana's website as and what we normally term as the Ghana reference rate for the day is actually the average of the interbank rate.
So I'm not even looking at that, but we can sit down and look at the global prices of gold. And also set our price here.
But Kojo, can you really do that?
We should be
so
able
that
to
if
do
you
that.
do that, how do you deal with smuggling? I mean, if you tell people that I'm going to sell this at this price because we in Ghana have set this price, they're going to give it to the Indians and Chinese to take it away.
If you want to deal with smuggling, we'll deal with smuggling.
Okay.
If you want to deal with galamsey, we'll deal with galamsey. We have built a system where, look, how many billions worth of gold did we export this year?
Last year, in excess of 20 billion.
$20 billion worth of gold. If on every ounce there's a peso, on every unit there's a peso on it, do you know the value of that for the whole value chain? The various players, aggregators. So I don't think that as a people, you see, when we try to do something very good, we do the good, and we always have some buts, and some small problems that come hurting us. So let's sit down and figure out how to do this, and do it very well. Let me ask you a question. If you are a trader, so I was discussing this gold thing with a trader last Wednesday at the Medina market. Say, Kojo, Chemi, I said, I'm so government buys gold and we went to sell it. And I say, but some me call. That was the lady. She spoke in Chi. Some me call Burkina Faso tomatoes, but I changed the CD into safer. I would make sure that when I bring it, I value it right, put my margins on it, and sell. This is a macro intervention to save the city. And if you look at the numbers, it's great. The city has been stable. A lot of things have been stable. That is great. But those losses, is there no way we can trade gold as a country and not make those so-called accounting losses?
Yeah, as for that one, I agree with you. And I think, really, for me...
Can we not do it and do it right, Pepe?
The margins are absolute. I mean, if you make a loss of 1.7 billion, particularly, and the reports really says much of it, almost half of it is the exchange rate differentials, right? I think the tomato example is good. But, the kind of trading that gold... I'm not excusing the losses, and I'm not excusing... I think that there's a way... I'm coming, Kojo. I think there's a way to deal with it and reduce the losses, or in fact do away with it completely. We can do it right. I mean, it's a learning process and all of that, but I see the point of going to buy the gold at spot price, because you see the last 2024 I listed Matthias, that guy that said was smuggling $40 million worth of gold every month. You see, if you cannot set your own price for gold completely. You just have to sell on the spot price, the international reference rate. And now I think they say they have a way where they sell. There's a morning rate, then there's the afternoon rate. So you have to go and buy it that way. And when you buy it, the Bank of Ghana must also ensure, because it goes back to whether or not the average interbank rate actually is a proper reflection of the true strength of your cedi. Because if it's not, that is how you're going to, because the Bank of Ghana is going to force to be, let's do the average, and then you make those losses. Okay, so I think that the Bank of Ghana now has an MOU with Gold Board about how they review the trading that has happened. And in fact, now it's Gold Board that is going to be doing this trading under the new law, and they are like the top, and then they have their own aggregators who are going down there, that's Bar Rock, and selling it and bringing it back. There's a way to reduce the losses significantly, or perhaps do away with it completely. We just have to look at the model. I think Professor Bob King was on Top Story and even PM Express when this matter broke, and gave an analysis of what is supposed to happen and all of that. There's a way to significantly do away with this. And so I see your point. I hope Samiji and Fianco are listening. Everyone that is in this chain must really develop a way to do this, so that we can make proper gains. Because like I said when we're doing the newspaper review, if you don't fix this, you're going to even make even more losses. The losses are going to come in the future are going to be gargantuan, especially now that you want to be aggressive in buying the gold so that you can build your buffers and then do the 15 months of import cover by 2028. The people that have the gold, they know that, listen, now you need the gold. So they are going to be very, very demanding in getting as much as they can get out of that. If you can't give them that, I promise you they are going to smuggle it.
My thing is, countries that have used their national resources to prop up their economy, how did they do it?
Yeah.
What's the international best practice? Are they making losses? Or they actually building huge sovereign funds using their natural resources? And why is it that when the states, the Republic of Ghana goes into any space, we always end up coming back to talk about losses? The other day I was looking at Cocoa Processing Company annual reports, and then I was comparing to companies like Cargill and the other companies.
They're just making losses.
They are making millions when CPC, which is a company we own, which is more like a subsidiary of Cocoa Board, is making losses, right? And then you take our state ownership reports, public interventions, and things that must solve problems always come with these big buts, and we never seem to solve them.
So let me just...
Is that the standard we set for ourselves as a people?
Let me just chip in this, and I'm just looking at the Gold Board Act, Act 1140, Section 3, Functions of the Gold Board. It says, to achieve the object under Section 2, the Gold Board shall be responsible for the marketing of the gold resources of the country, set standards on the quality, purity, and weight of gold sold in, sorted in, or exported from the country in compliance with international best practices, ensure value addition to the gold of the country, including regulating the local fabrication of gold into castings, mints, jewelry, coins, bars, bullion, industrial components, or other forms of value storage. D, and listen to this one, buy a portion or all of the gold produced by large-scale mining companies in line with the preemption rights of the government exercised by the minister responsible for mines under Section 7 of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006. So I just went to Section 7 of the Minerals and Mining Act. It says, government's right of preemption. The minister has the right of preemption of all minerals raised, won, or obtained in Ghana, and from any area covered by territorial waters, the exclusive economic zones, or the continental shelf, and products derived from the refining or treatment of these minerals. The government may, by an executive instrument, appoint a statutory body to act as its agent for the exercise of the right of preemption. Okay. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Gold Board can actually decide to buy all of these golds. Yeah,
even the large mines, and I think they are doing part of that under the GANRAP. So they signed an MOU a couple of days back, even Kenashigbe, the mineral, the mine, the Chamber of Mines, where they decided that they're going to sell a part of what they have to what do we call it, Gold Board, as part of the GANRAP initiative. So yeah,
they should sell all of it, and then we work on the losses. We have to work on that. But this morning, look, let's get interactive. Okay, we want to hear from you also. You know, Professor Kwekwaza wrote one about airfares in this country, and I've seen lots of messages already talking about the fact that airfares are naturally not cheap. But in a country called Ghana, where today the two biggest cities, Accra and Kumasi, is such a pain driving to Kumasi. So if you want to go to Kumasi and you have the Benjamin, my brother, in 35 minutes you're in Kumasi, do whatever you want to do, and then you're back. Unfortunately, airfares are too expensive.
Charlie.
4,000 round trip, 5,000 round trip. How?
Accra Kumasi.
Meanwhile, Accra Lagos. Accra Lagos, sometimes it's 4,500.
Yeah.
So how?
And that can even be cheaper. I mean, those people are flying from Madrid to London. People are flying in Europe and paying $7, $9. People are doing $25 return trip on Ryanair. Of course, it's a low cost flight. But why is intercity so expensive in Ghana? I mean, if You look at, of course, a big part of that is also because there's almost no competition. There are just two airlines flying these two routes, Accra Tamale, Accra Kumasi, and so because the competition is not there. In fact, if you look at the gap, the spread between those two airlines is very little. We need more of that.
Okay, so let's get interactive. Join us on X. Use the hashtag JoySMS. Then on WhatsApp 055-1111-997.
Now, if your money is controlling you, now is the time to take charge. The EcoBank mobile app gives you the power to command your money, to transact across 33 African countries and anywhere in the world. Command your money to make water, electricity and school fees payments, bank and mobile money transfers, create virtual cards to buy only what you need, and more with EcoBank. So download the EcoBank mobile app now on the App Store or the Play Store and command your money. Command also means paying attention to details. EcoBank will never call or send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or your Ghana card details. When in doubt, call the EcoBank call center on 0800 003 225. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
And on big stories this morning, brought to us by Telecel Connecting Energies, Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa, and Awake Natural Mineral Water, one for life. Our focus is on the domestic gold purchase program and also on our cost of living.
Don't miss your chance to win big in the Telecel Mahiti promo. Opt in for free today by dialing star 500 hash or visiting the Telecel Play app at the star 500 hash or visit the Telecel Play app. Only those who opt in are eligible to win incredible prizes: 1 million cedis every month, 20,000 weekly, and 100 cedis daily. Once you've opted in, simply reload 10 cedis or more of airtime or data, or top up your Telecel cash wallet or fixed broadband to earn your chance to win. Remember, no opt-in, no entry. So act now. Dial star 500 hash or open the Telecel Play app and opt in for free to join the Telecel Mahiti promo. You could be the next millionaire. Telecel, connecting energies.
And if you need water, get Awake Natural Mineral Water. Your body needs clean, refreshing water every day. And Awake is carefully produced to keep you refreshed and hydrated. It's purified, it's refreshing, and it's purpose-driven. And if you buy a bottle of water, they donate an amount to the National Cardiothoracic Center at Kolebu. It's part of their One for Life campaign. So get Awake. Drink water. Drink Awake. It's available nationwide.
Great. Stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM.
Huge billboard right next to my ex.
So you see, when a man sets out to demonize you and denigrate you and to tag you with something he knows to be false, wages a persistent, sustained smear campaign against your person, and you have an opportunity to respond to that person. You don't give such a person a hug, a peck on the cheek, and a bouquet of flowers. You understand? Like Isaac Newton said in his third law of motion, for every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. Afenyo Markin got the response he deserved. I never insulted him, and nobody can show me one word that I used that was insulting.
Even at the start, you seem to suggest that you don't know who he is.
It's part of
setting Afenyo Markin.
That is how you respond to somebody who projects you as being liable of a criminal offense and says that you will not be able to meet your bail conditions. And
this is all he said. Let's listen to Afenyo Markin.
Oh, if I could
let's listen to him. Hold on. Let's listen to him.
Gold bought own domain, 22 billion cedis. That's equivalent of the 1.7 billion US dollars in 1 year alone. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, let's call it what it is. These losses are not bad luck. You don't trade in gold and make losses. They are not a difficult market. They expose the crass incompetence of gold board's management and misaligned policy of the government. No serious institution loses this much money by accident. This is what happens when an untouchable few are handed the nation's gold with no one watching and no one willing to ask questions. 3 million cedis 10 million cedis yɛtumi frɛ wɔ iyoko na wakɔda hɔ na yɛse fa agyapadeɛ a asomboɔ for branch ya ma bill na ne go ball for bill de abɛyɛ ho si o me ba o wei deɛ saa 22 billion losses here almost gold board aboke and then who bill ezika ben na yɛde bɛdi bill.
Was he really serious about it? Did he sound like he was being a little jovial?
But what did I do? Me too. I just compared him to Kojo Abena Sare. Kojo Abena Sare, and me, Anta. All of whom are his colleagues in parliament, MPP people, who have criticized us. And I said, when you listen to those criticisms, you see maybe lack of information, but they don't make it personal. But when you listen to him, you hear malice for Sami Jenfi. Either than that, who can read these IMF reports and even suggest that Sami Jenfi will have to meet onerous bail conditions to the tune of 22 billion? Because this issue is not about Sami Jenfi. So you see the smear campaign there. You get my point? Then he says, Obi Antongo de Moka. In this world, the most cheapest thing to trade is water. You went and supervised 4 consecutive years of losses at Ghana Water Limited when you were board chairman, from 2017 to 2024. A cumulative loss of 3.3 billion. You were sent to ECG as board chair. You supervised another loss of 8.2 billion cedis in 2024. What on Suaboka? What on Kenya Boka? You are not asked to meet any onerous bail conditions. Sami Jenfi that has not incurred any loss. It is me who will meet onerous bail conditions. So that's the point. So if the audit exonerates you from the claims he makes, but why should you reply in such manner? No, but that is why I'm saying that just like he can criticize me, he's also not beyond reproach. You get my point? So Sami Jenfi should be criticized. Afenyo Makin should not be criticized. This is not an insult. I am showing you that this is your record. Cumulative loss of 3.3 billion at Ghana Water, 8.2 billion ECG. You are not facing any criminal action and onerous bail terms. Why should you project that on me when I have not made a loss? You see, my brother, there are many underlying issues between I and Afenyo Makin that you don't know and those watching don't know. I have appeared on News Farm many times. Perhaps in this country, I have held more press conferences on political issues than anybody. Have you ever heard me use the word extortion against any of my critics? Have you ever heard me? Why will I use this word now? And why have you not heard Afenyo say anything about that? Or challenge me? Or threaten to sue? So the MPP people talking, there are things you don't know. I will not just, I'm a consummate Democrat. I eat and drink debates. I'm not worried.
Call the minority leader an extortionist.
I'm not worried if you criticize him.
To...
Yes. And that is why he cannot comment on that or even challenge me. He cannot. Because he knows that what I said is true. So there are many things that you may not have the benefit of. But let me talk about my good brother.
Afenyo King is a self-made man.
No problem.
He's got the chain of businesses.
Maybe tell him that.
Why does he need to come and extort money from Gold Board?
Tell him that you want to be his lawyer so that he sues Sami Jenfi to substantiate that claim. Tell him. Or tell him that you give him an interview here and Sami Jenfi will come and that you should dare Sami Jenfi. That is not an insult. I'm speaking about what has happened and he knows. Now, finally, my good brother, Honorable Nilante van der Poel. And here I want to address our rank and file.
We're told his campaign is doomed.
Yeah. I want to address our rank and file. Honorable Nilante van der Poel is one of the people who have been very supportive of my young political career projection. I consider him a senior brother. And I know that he harbors no ill will towards me. But we are all not perfect. Sometimes, in communicating, something may come across in a way we never intended it. The man says he's sorry. I believe it ends there. Yesterday, I had a very hearty conversation with him, and we put it behind us. Because at the end of the day, we in the NDC have a party to build and a nation to govern. And so that is all I want to say about that. But you see, the feedback that some of the comparisons and the words were strong is duly understood and taken in good faith. But I have explained to you that that is how you crush deliberate, malicious smear campaigns. When somebody wants to, for 3 months, Sami Jenfi, gold board, you don't give such a person a peg on the cheek, a hug, and a bouquet of flowers.
Okay.
You call him out for the world to know that what he's doing is not born out of any quest for accountability. It is personal. And the reason why he's on that personal smear campaign is a stosh.
Don't repeat that.
I've told you.
You are more than willing to appear. So you're going to appear voluntarily, and you will provide all underlying contracts, assay logs, the pricing data. You will open your books fully if you appear.
You're one of the people who have followed my young political career. You've known me for a long time. You've engaged with me privately on this platform. Do I, Sami Jenfi, look like somebody who will be afraid of a parliamentary probe? I have told them they are delaying time. All this talk, all this press conference, you are wasting time. And the motion they have filed, they've missed the issue. Look, Parliament works in committees. Haven't you heard that phrase? You don't even need any motion, because Gold Board is under the oversight of the Committee on Economy. You know the ranking member for that committee, Kojo. Not too long ago, they came to Gold Board to engage us and to ask me questions. They can order me to produce documents. They can televise their provision, their proceedings. The committee. I'm also under the oversight of the Committee on Finance. Honorable Adongo is the chairperson. Honorable Minanta is a ranking member. They can call me today. The Public Accounts Committee, chaired by our sister Abna Sari, they can call me today. What is this whole talk about? A special motion for an ad hoc committee when you have standing or select committees. They are just wasting time. And I have told our majority leader that this motion, the motion doesn't even mention Gold Board. You are saying Sami Jenfini Gold Board at Gold Aboka. Invite us to come and show the word that you are truthful. Then you've gone to draft a motion which doesn't even mention the name of Gold Board. You are talking about Bank of Ghana domestic gold purchase program losses. And even with that, you are saying you want to probe only 2025 losses. If we have to probe Bank of Ghana domestic gold purchase program losses, then let's expand the issues and start from 2021.
That's fair.
And let's bring Addison, let's bring Kwesi Ewua, my predecessor. Let's investigate domestic gold purchase program. Why limit it to 2025?
Right.
So the call is a challenge between Gold Board and Afenyo Ken. He says, Gold Board Aboka.
Beyond the minority.
To give kids every morning, well, that's why Milo All-in-One is such a great option. It has a creamy, delicious taste kids can't have enough of, but there's more to Milo All-in-One than that rich, milky, chocolatey taste. There's so much goodness in every pack. Just take a moment to read the back of pack and see for yourself. It's important nutrients combined with malt that supports energy release, cocoa for that rich taste, and milk for calcium to support them as they grow. So keep choosing Milo All-in-One, not just for the special taste, but also for the nourishing goodness. Milo, energy to go further.
Some mattresses are being made from all kinds of unsafe materials that are not fit for sleeping services. These mattresses may be cheap, but they can be harmful to your health. They don't meet Ghana safety standards and will end up costing you more. Buying inferior and cheap mattresses may seem like a good way to save money, but do not fall for the trap. If you haven't slept well, you cannot work well and think well. These are all ultimately putting your health at risk, which can cause you a lifetime of discomfort and chronic pain. As responsible citizens, we should invest in safe, durable, and certified mattresses. That is why we must all raise awareness to protect families across the country. Latex Foam remains a tried and tested brand we all love for almost 60 years now. We offer you unmatched quality and durability for every Ghanaian home. Make the smart choice. Talk to them on 0302 231 155 in Accra and 0322029365 in Kumasi for all your inquiries, or walk into any of our outlets nationwide for your preferred choices. You can also visit www.latestfoamghana.com and all their social media platforms. Do not settle for let's go for quality, buy Latest Foam, or else they do yourself. Latest Foam, your partner for life.
Kwaku, let's go on to the phone lines because we've been joined by Professor Godfred Boateng, who is a professor of finance at the University of Ghana Business School. But, Professor Boateng has expertise in accounting, finance, and economics. So he's the best man to have a conversation about the Gold Board. Professor Godfred Boateng, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Winston, and good morning to our cherished listeners.
Yeah, so Prof, I mean, I have heard you say that the whole problem of the gold board and even the domestic gold purchase program, that's the problem. It's in its design. Here we are today, focusing on how come Ghana made $1.7 billion of losses in 2025 through the domestic gold purchase program. You've studied the program. What's the problem, Professor Boateng?
All right, thank you very much. This issue had been with us for a while. In the run-up to the 2024 election, both political parties recognized the dangers, the smuggling. The NDC proposed the setting up of gold board as a way, more or less like the monosony, the sole entity to buy and sell gold for Ghana. The FX component certainly will hit Bank of Ghana's reserves. The MPP proposed another option of reducing the final withholding tax as a way of crowding in the gold-related FX. Thankfully, NDC won. They set up the gold board. Good news. So we need to start off by recognizing that there has been a fundamental shift in how gold purchase and all of that is supposed to be handled, especially from the artisanal small-scale miners, because we had also seen the surge when it comes to gold production, especially from artisanal small-scale miners or irresponsible miners. Let's put it that way, frankly, right? So by the very nature of the proposal, it's a good idea. I recognize that. In fact, way back in 2025, we had indicated that by the design and the kind of pricing regime they had put in place, we were likely to record losses, and that we should be able to look at the pricing regime and other interventions beyond just pricing incentives as a way of crowding it. Because once gold board becomes the monosony, the issue of offering price incentives to compete among others doesn't necessarily exist, because you are the sole buyer now. It's about enforcement and all of that. So it's a combination rather than just relying solely on just price incentives and all of that. So what was the issue? You look at, and also, you see, in economics, when you are designing intervention, you anticipate your cost of implementing the intervention and what changes you need to make. You don't muddle through, only to get to the end and say that, oh, these were the losses as huge as $1.7 billion. And I want to submit this morning that if you look at the entire value chain, the losses actually exceed the $1.7 billion.
Because hold on, Prof. Boateng.
Yes.
How do you arrive at that? Help me understand.
Okay, so you want to look at the incentives mechanism that we put in place to make the intervention work. One was offering discounts, more or less. If you look at the spread between the Bank of Ghana rate and then the forex exchange rate, we did all of this to make it a bit more competitive. Beyond that, if you look at the price ultimately that we're paying for the gold, right, to the extent that, as the IMF also indicated, that the price at which we're buying gold became one of the highest in the region, possibly even encouraging other countries to smuggle their gold through our system because they could get higher price. Okay, so it's like a country faced with limited resources could afford to do all of this. No problem. That is not the only thing. The other thing to also bear in mind is that in order for all of this to work, we had to also abolish the 1.5% final withholding tax. So that is fiscal loss to us. Okay, so this is revenue that could have come to our revenue envelope, which could be available for building roads, schools, hospitals, and stuff like that. So we gave up so much in order to implement this. Then you want to look at our response from the beginning, whether we fully anticipated the value chain cost from beginning to the end, and then to understand whether we were in a position or whether we could do something about this much earlier than recognizing this much later and all the reforms that we are doing right now. So that said, we know that Gold Board becoming more or less the face of the domestic gold purchase arrangement, there's been a significant increase in the crowding in of gold-related foreign exchange. That is good news. But if you look at the cost at which we are achieving this, it's quite high. And I believe that if we had looked at the design and look at the pricing mechanism objectively, transparently, and all of that, I believe that we could have minimized the cost. And that is some of those proposals are the things that they are implementing now as part of the exit strategy. In other words, taking Bank of Ghana out of it.
Let's look at the pricing regime.
It's actually more than the 1.7 billion. The other thing to take into consideration, which I've seen people do, is to say that if we brought in $10.9 billion and you made a loss of, let's say, $1.7 billion, you are far better off. No, that's a dwarfed position to take, because you spent almost $9.8 billion to buy the gold in the first place, and you brought in revenue of, let's say, $10.9 billion. So you have to account for the explicit cost of buying the gold, which is $9.8 billion, from the 10.9, and then account for all the other related costs, the incentives, the discounts, the spread, and the transaction costs. So you have to. So it's one country. So if you look at if you adopt a value chain approach and you look at it from the perspective of the country, you're able to appreciate the net position and the fact that we could have done better. But if you look at it in silos, that gold board, this is what we are doing, this is what we have gotten. At the end of the day, one aspect of the value chain could be smiling. But meanwhile, if you put everything together, you realize that the net exposure is quite huge. Given the fiscal losses, giving up the 1.5% tax revenue, and all the other incentive mechanisms that we've had to put in place in order to get to where we are. That said, Winston, the good news also is that we all recognize this. So going forward, there are some reforms in the domestic good purchase.
We'll look at those reforms. But before we look at those reforms, you're talking about the cost-benefit analysis. And for those who have made the point, they've said, look, we've had the needed foreign exchange. And so if in getting the needed foreign exchange, and today Ghanaians say, well, the appreciation of the Ghana cedi is okay. We can afford things that previously we couldn't afford. Is that not enough justification that if you look at in totality the impact of, say an appreciation of the Ghana cedi on the economy and the 1.7 billion loss, you probably would opt for it and say it's better?
Well, if you are faced with unlimited resources, then you can afford to implement intervention at whatever cost. But remember, we are saddled with limited resources. And bear in mind that the appreciation of the cedi, macroeconomic stability, is not solely as a result of just getting more foreign exchange. If you look at the combination of interventions from the fiscal side, look, for the first time in our history, in fact, since 1993, we have had to implement expenditure-based fiscal consolidation. You know what that means? We have to shrink expenditure. In fact, the IMF called it expenditure compression. I mean, it's more or less like a new word, expenditure compression. So we have to do all this expenditure-based fiscal consolidation, give up spending in the area of so many critical infrastructure, given our developmental needs. That is not the only thing. Bear in mind that in addition to the steep fiscal consolidation, we have to also implement tight monetary policy measures. Bear in mind that the cost of open market operations alone in mopping up liquidity, how much liquidity Bank of Ghana mopped up of the system in 2025 was more than 70 billion Ghana cedis at a cost of more than 16 billion Ghana cedis. So it's not just bringing in foreign exchange that has resulted in macroeconomic stability or inflation coming down. The cost of achieving this macroeconomic stability is so pricey. From the fiscal side, expenditure cuts, loss in fiscal revenue. From the monetary side, monetary tightening, mopping up liquidity, and the huge cost on the books of Bank of Ghana in mopping up that. Look at the net equity position of Bank of Ghana. As at the end of 2025, the net equity position of Ghana was negative to almost $9.6 billion. You know what that means?
Tell me.
That requires fiscal transfers, more or less, from the Ministry of Finance, from the taxpayer, to recapitalize Bank of Ghana. So we need to celebrate the gains we have, but we need to be mindful of the cost and whether it could have been reduced. And I believe that it could have been reduced. It could have been reduced. The cost of implementing intervention should not be discounted because we are not faced with unlimited resources.
Okay, let's look at the reforms that you would propose. I mean, what reforms do you say we implement?
So as part of my position from last year was that this was a fiscal activity. We should not load it on the books of Bank of Ghana. In fact, since 2020, third quarter of 2021, systematically we have been undermining the balance sheet of Bank of Ghana by transferring much of fiscal activities to their books. Meanwhile, this could have, if this had sat on the books of Ministry of Finance, it would have resulted explicitly in debt formation. So we were sacrificing the balance sheet of Bank of Ghana unsustainably. And therefore, we needed to shield the balance sheet of the central bank from these quasi-fiscal activities so that we put it on the fiscal side. Then we'll be able to understand the entire cost. So that the celebration we saw last year and all of that, we will be very mindful because the cost will match the cost then against the accomplishment from one side. But because it sits on the books of Bank of Ghana, we felt that, hey, Bank of Ghana is not even part of the whole government architecture and all of that. So it's good news for me that we are transferring this from the balance sheet of Bank of Ghana to the fiscal side. That's good news. You see that going forward, the accounting methodology and all of that will change because the cost that you had to be transferred to BOG will now be absorbed from the fiscal side or from Gold Board. Okay, and all of that. Then the other thing also is that they've decided to reduce the charges and the rest of them by 50%. That's good news. There is also an intentional move to narrow the spread. Is that okay? And all of that. And then also other interventions that they are putting in place. But beyond that, Winston, the bigger issue to also look at is that this wasn't what we asked for ahead of 2024 election. We're asking for a government that will respond to irresponsible mining. Okay, so even if you are accounting for the gains that we are celebrating today, you also need to take into consideration the huge environmental subsidy. The huge environmental subsidy in terms of the distraction to our water bodies and the rest of them that we are not taking into consideration. So both the explicit cost, the implicit cost, if you adopt a value chain approach and also fully account for the environmental subsidy and the rest of them, you begin to understand whether it's a positive sum game or it's a negative sum game. Because look at the distraction to our environment. This wasn't what we asked for in 2024, ahead of 2024 election, when we were calling for a state of emergency in a year of election, because we felt that we were facing existential threat and all of that. Today, we have magnified the effect of Gold Board to the extent that the discussion about irresponsible mining, the dangers, the existential threat seems infinitesimal in the face of so-called macroeconomic stability, which we just a price shock. Look, if gold price today should dip by more than 40%, this macroeconomic stability we talk about will only exist in the textbook. What kind of gain is that? When it's so exposed to price shock, global gold price shock, what kind of gain is that? Everything could just go in within 6 to 8 months of that price shock. And remember, let's go back to history. Literally every 10 years, prices of commodities correct from a bust, from a boom. They correct almost every 10 years. Okay, so the stability we are talking about, the gains that we are talking about here, is not durable. Look, if you do sensitivity analysis, if you do stress testing, and you say that if gold price should dip by 40% today, where would we be? You will see that we'll be so exposed. Even the Middle East crisis, the governor of Bank of Ghana is telling us that our reserves is stressed. Okay, and all of that. So I think we need to be mindful. As a country, we should adopt a value chain approach. Let's account for the environmental subsidy, ecological integrity we have destroyed. If you put all of these things together, okay, through the analysis, and you're able to say that we are far better off, then that's good news. But if until you do that, what is the game? What are we celebrating here?
And Professor Boateng, if you put all of this together,
as a result of
Prof. Boateng, if you put all of this together, are we better off?
We are not better off.
Okay.
It's a selfish position to think that you can cause such harm to the environment and water bodies in the name of macroeconomic stability and say you have gained. It's a selfish position. This is not leadership. You are sacrificing long-term survivability for short-term praise. This is not leadership. Countries that made it didn't do so by exploiting the environment like this. And any growth model that is heavily reliant on environmental destruction, primary commodities, is never sustainable. Countries have transitioned. Look, what we are discussing today was what was prevailing in the 50s and 70s in Malaysia, when the economy was heavily driven by copper and tin. From the 70s, 80s, 90s, 30s, they shifted away from primary commodities. And that is how come Malaysia is where they are today. How do we celebrate such a growth model with huge environmental footprint? Okay, the GDP, that is the reason why so many people think that GDP is not just gross domestic product, but gross domestic problem, because the environmental destruction, the harm the GDP creates in its process is poorly reflected in the GDP calculation and all of that. So if one person dies today because of irresponsible mining, we have destroyed the water bodies. Is this macroeconomic stability or gain compared to a life?
Okay. Professor Boateng, before you go finally, we're told also that debt servicing is now below 20% of revenue. And for the average Ghanaian, his question is, and so what? What does this mean to him and our economy?
So let me start off this way by congratulating Honorable Atufo. I think he has... Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Prof.
Yeah, let me start off by congratulating Honorable Atufo. I think he has really forced in terms of the expenditure control. The trade-off is quite huge, but I think that he's managed to balance the books. The reason I adopt this position is that government had signaled that they will use the first 2 years to balance the books. It's mainly balancing books. Balancing books is different from transformation. It's different from making progress necessarily. So thankfully we are there. Debt to GDP ratio has come down significantly, almost 3 years ahead of the cutoff date of 2028. It's also good that debt servicing has also come down. The reasons for this, you can trace it also to what the previous administration put in place. The unpopular domestic debt exchange, right, has played a key role. Remember that those who gave Ghana fresh air was actually not gold board. Those who gave Ghana breathing space to have what we have today were domestic bondholders who sacrificed, were Euro bondholders who sacrificed, who came to the table when Ghana needed help the most. Remember, the original IMF supported program had a balance of payment financing gap of about $13.5 billion. At that time, gold board was in existence. Domestic gold purchase was so small. Those who gave Ghana sweat equity, who gave Ghana fresh air to breathe, and I think we need to recognize them today, including pensioners and all of them who endured haircuts. They didn't even get a chance to choose the style of the haircut. They were the ones who gave Ghana a fresh air. Domestic debt holders and the Euro bond holders and the rest of them. Then, of course, we can also talk about external bilateral creditors to Ghana. Thankfully, we have created this space. How we utilize this space going forward is very fundamental. This is not unique. Winston, before I move into my presentation somewhere else, this is not the first time. Ghana is almost at the same stage where we were in 2006 when we had finished HIPIC. Remember, HIPIC was also a form of debt restructuring. We finished HIPIC in 2004 and also finished the Multilateral Debt Relief Initiative in 2006. When we were done, Ghana's debt to GDP ratio came down to less than 30%. 30%. Debt servicing came down significantly. In fact, it was the reason why Ghana filed for divorce from the IMF under President Kufuor in 2006, that we could be on our own. We have fiscal space. We could inject growth through external debt financing by going to the international capital market. So we filed for that divorce. It wasn't so difficult. The IMF granted the divorce, okay, which also allowed us to go to do our first Euro bond in 2007, right? So we did all of that. But remember what happens. Within 3 years, the fiscal space we are celebrating today, we celebrated that also in 2006. Within 3 years, the fiscal space has been dissipated. and Ghana made a U-turn, and in 2009 asked for the hand of the IMF in another marriage. Within 3 years, we made a quick U-turn. So it's good news. We are celebrating this fiscal space. Let's put in place the right structures, spend efficiently, borrow prudently, invest it in enhancing the cash flow generating capacity of the economy. Otherwise, we have been there before. Thank you. My time is up.
Thank you very, very much, Professor Godfrey Boateng. Yes, I know that your time is up. You have a presentation somewhere. Thank you very much for making time to speak to us here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. And Professor Boateng makes the point that in talking about profit, you should also look at the cost.
Yeah.
So when you talk about gold, you first of all, you need to know where the gold is even coming from. And once you know where the gold is coming from, at what cost are we producing this gold?
Yeah.
And, on Saturday, I caught bits and pieces of news file. I heard Sami Jemfi make the point that that's why they're putting in place measures to trace, tracing where the gold is coming from. There's a possibility that part of this gold will be coming from galamseyers. And once it comes from galamseyers, it means we're destroying our environment to do this, Akoto Boateng.
Yes, so I have been looking at some 4 cost areas that nobody has been put on the balance sheet. We've been talking about 1.7 billion. But if you look at cocoa farms abandoned or converted, over the period where we've been tracking galamsey, we know the number of hectares that we've lost of our forest reserves and cocoa farms we've lost. We've seen how cocoa board's expected gold purchase, cocoa purchase keeps dropping year on year.
Mm-hmm.
The highest we hit was a little over 1 million tons. And last year we expected to do some 800,000 or so tons. We couldn't do more than 500,000 tons. Now, if you sit down and do that analysis very well, yes, there's a bit of aged cocoa trees that are not yielding much. But one of the main causes of what is happening to cocoa is galamsey. And it can easily estimate some $300 million a year in losses in that particular area. And I always refer to the Ghana Environmental Analysis Report of the World Bank 2020, which was done by some of the sharpest brains in the country, where they take every sector of the environment and do the analysis of the costs of pollution and related matters. Now, if you look at water treatment costs, Ghana Water has told us almost a lot of their plants in the western region, Ashanti region, have suffered because of galamsey. Recently, we're talking about the Agona area where they had to just close down the whole plant. If you look at the opportunity cost to the people, the water they don't get to drink, the extra cost Ghana Water is spending on treating water, you are looking at something not less than $250 million. And I'll explain. Ghana Water sells you a liter of water for how much? For about 20 Ghana cedis. But people who buy that 1,000 liters of water for about 20 Ghana cedis, 1,000 liters for 20 Ghana cedis. But if you are going to buy 1,000 liters of water from these tankers, you are getting it for 300, 400 Ghana cedis. So when you do that analysis, you realize that people are really spending money and it's costing us. That's also another 250 million Ghana cedis easily. And then look at the health impacts. The health impacts and the heavy metals we are eating. Remember that conversation we had here about the research in the Konongo area and all these areas where heavy metals have become a part of our meals. And the general forest and the watershed degradation. So we are discussing about $1.7 billion accounting losses and all those things. But the environmental costs runs into billions if you really sit down to do the analysis. And Ghana becoming the 6th producer of gold in the world should also tell us that the galamsey that we claim we are fighting, we are actually not fighting it. We are not winning the fight because it's expanding. People are producing more gold through that, and we need to fight that before we regret in the next few years.
Indeed, before we regret in the next few years. Stay with us here on the Super Morning Show. Lots of issues still to come up. Would be getting your thoughts on cost of living, standard of living these days, Charlie. If fuel prices, my brother, if you use diesel like I do, Charlie, it's you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hello, sir. Please check the round tickets you made me purchase for our Canadian partners arriving this weekend.
Something is eating me up though. I still don't know a decent, welcoming place where we can host our guests.
This is no issue at all, sir. Let me introduce you to Ghana's best kept secret when it comes to a perfect accommodation, and that is Anointed Executive Airbnb apartment located at Bawis.
There is also this large section of the public that is concerned about Galamsey and say that you have been talking about traceability for a long time.
So we should probe.
But you are not implementing traceability. So the small scale gold you are buying, how sure are you that you are not the one actually buying
so if we are to
illegal gold?
So if that is a reason for a probe, I'm saying that then probe it from 2021 under domestic gold purchase program. And the records will show that people bought gold for oil, gold for reserves, gold for FX, and they made no effort to implement traceability. We, a barely 1 year statutory corporation, are currently involved in a national competitive tendering process to acquire the traceability system for Ghana, to allow us to trace every ounce of gold we buy to their mine of origin. This is historic. And this is not, if I could do so sourcing without Suleiman Abrahama coming after me, I would have concluded that process. But government bureaucracy, you have to go through that process. That we will finish the procurement in the next 2 months, I believe, and the onboarding of the over 1,000 licensed small-scale miners will start. And then we will look at registered cooperative mining schemes who are committed to undergoing training to operate responsibly, and we'll onboard them as well. And then we'll go to Parliament to pass a law on what should happen to gold which is not traceable, whether it should be confiscated by Gold Board, because currently our law is silent on that, whether we should not buy it or whether we should buy it at a punitive, So, but if that is why you are calling for an audit, then let us broaden it and start from 2021.
Right. As we wrap up,
will be going to court on the other issue. Regarding,
I have made certain.
I've seen your statement.
I'm saying I've made certain statements. I would rely on them without more. Don't rush. You see, in the Bible, Jesus was accused, wild allegations. He kept quiet and watched them. He could have done anything, but you see, when you are dealing with situations, the people of Ghana expect a certain level of maturity from me. The people of Ghana see that this is an accomplished businessman. He's been in the space for some time. He's leading a group. The tradition of the party MPP that I lead expects a certain level of conduct. So if I would be carried away with emotions, I will fail. It's not an emotional game. It's not a game that somebody attacks you, you should also react. No, you won't get it. There's always a bait in politics. But
you see this as a bait?
I'm saying that there is always a bait.
No, I'm asking you specific questions regarding this.
I'm saying that there is always a bait in politics. And don't underestimate. Opponents also have a strategy. I was a majority leader. I know how government operates. I know how government can divert attention. So I've been there. Because the government must hold itself together. So it can be throw this in. Today, social media, let's divert attention. Let's stain the man. But look, Carlos.
Is that what is happening?
Carlos, in opposition, like I said, was Atufose not in court? Was it not worse than my situation? You get what I mean? So, as for this game, I want to assure the party that the mandate they gave me, God willing, that mandate will be discharged. We would work hard. The people of Ghana expect us to do nothing less. They expect us as minority to be forthright, to work hard, to hold the feet of government to the fire. We will do that. All other things that will come, we'll deal with it. So don't worry. Tomorrow we are resuming. We pray that the motion will be admitted. We argue, set up the ad hoc committee so that within the period of break, at least there will be hearing.
Okay.
So that by October, before we read the 2027 budget is read, I hope by that time the report will be ready. And once it is ready, the good people of Ghana would see. But I pray for a live broadcast of the hearing. Okay? And I also pray that there will be no U-turn.
The gold board hearing?
Yes, the gold board hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want a headline. Yes, you want a headline.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, the gold board hearing. We can safely say that. We expect that once the motion is carried, there will be a full public hearing of these gold board losses. I mean, when a document speaks plain language, there's no point in interpretation. And what I was taught at the law school, in reading a document, you read it as a whole. You don't read one paragraph and leave the other. The entire construct must be given its full meaning so that the effect could be achieved. So what you read, you started from somewhere, you didn't finish. So I will finish it. And I'm starting from where you started, the paragraph 13. This is what the IMF said, quote, in 2025, the significant scaling up of the domestic gold purchase program operations led to losses of over $1.7 billion, into brackets, 1.5% of GDP, almost entirely related to the gold for reserve dowry purchases. This amounted to a loss of 17% of value of the dowry gold sold by Bank of Ghana. Full stop. The next sentence. Losses accrued on gold trade are a combination of service and after fees paid to gold board, discount on gold sold to off-takers, and most importantly, exchange rate losses from the spread between the Forex Bureau rate paid to purchase gold and the CD reference rate used for Bank of Ghana accounting. See figure 7. It goes further. Survey data suggests that Ghanaian artisanal gold mining prices are among the highest in the region. Full stop. Next line. These accounting losses partly reflect valuation effect rather than economic cost, but they still weaken the BOG balance sheet and imply transfers to recipient of FX at the reference rate. Then it goes on and on. Now, let's break it down. The IMF, before they come out with their final report,
Don't go and check the lyrics. You'll be singing it differently. Black Sherry. So it goes, and so it goes. Anyway, so live here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. And Kojo, you know, there's the Joy FM Back to School Prayer Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like the whole idea that, you know, even as we prepare for the 2026-2027 academic year, you know that parents are busy preparing uniforms, books, school fees. The school fees is the most important part for parents. But the question is, have you sought for, you know, God's protection for your children, their teachers, and even the school in which they are?
Yeah.
Have you done that? Okay, this morning we're going to be telling you more about the Joy FM Back to School Prayer Fest. It's on Saturday, August 29, from 3 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. on prayer line. Okay, don't just prepare for school, prepare in prayer, and join Pastor Twakwa, Pastor Kojo Frempomp, and Bishop Mike Niabose. I heard Bishop Mike Niabose saying, Fifi Fosin brofliced his name. Those were the words of Bishop Niabose. Okay. So that's just by way of information here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. But this morning also our friends from Republic Bank are joining us here on the Super Morning Show. Friday to Sunday was the first mini clinic of the Republic Bank Joy News Habitat Fair. And look, yesterday when I was returning from Koforidua listening, I had the rep from Republic Bank so happy with the fact that you showed up even when it was raining. And I'm happy that you're doing this. It only goes to show that we are all prepared for the home ownership journey. Okay, that's the most important thing. And as we prepare for the home ownership journey, they'll be joining us here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM to tell us more about what we need to know and what we must do when it comes to home ownership. But look, Going green is not just about saving the planet. It can save you real money. So install solar panels, cut down your power costs, get an electric vehicle, and reduce what you spend getting around, switch to energy efficient equipment, and lower the cost of running your home or business. And the best part, Absa Bank can help you finance all of it. The Absa Green Finance Loan gives you what you need to make it happen. Walk into any Absa branch, ask about the Absa Green Finance Loan today, and say yes to a greener tomorrow. Terms and conditions apply. Absa Bank reminds you to shine your eye to avoid being scammed. Your story matters. Absa.
And Milo All-in-One is that rich, milky, chocolatey drink. There's so much goodness in every pack. So when you wake up in the morning with the family, don't go through a stressful routine of figuring out what to have for breakfast. There's Milo All-in-One for you. Just enjoy it with the family. Let the children enjoy it. It releases it helps them get a lot of energy. And the malts in the Milo All-in-One supports energy release, cocoa for that rich taste, and milk for calcium to support the children as they grow. So keep choosing Milo All-in-One, not just for that special taste, but also for the nourishing goodness. Milo is energy to go further.
So imagine sourcing directly from the heart of manufacturing and trade. Consolidated Bank Ghana CBG is thrilled to announce the third international trade trip to China, an exclusive trip designed just for you to Guangzhou and you. From the 4th to the 20th of October 2026, you get the opportunity to explore the Chinese market, network with suppliers, and discover innovative products that can elevate your business. Enjoy easy access to various sectors with professional translators at your service to bridge any communication gaps. Numerous benefits await you, including insightful business seminars, orientation to the Chinese market, factory and market visits, and valuable connections that could transform your business strategy. Don't miss out on this chance to expand your horizon. For inquiries and registration, call Rosemary on 0243 803 596, Esther on 0243 043708, or Solomon on 0556 799 127, and then Lethal on 0531 019150. Together, let's make your business dreams a reality. CBG, we stand with you.
And the big event is coming up in the north, the grand opening, let me put it that way, of the North Shore Apparel Ghana Limited facility. It's brought to you by the Ghana Exim Bank and North Shore Apparel Ghana Limited, and they are presenting the official opening of phase 1 of the North Shore Apparel Hub, a wholly Ghanaian-owned apparel manufacturing enterprise operating within the 24-hour economy initiative, and it's located at Savlugu. It was funded by the Ghana Exim Bank and other partners, and the North Shore Apparel Hub will officially open on Friday, 28th of August 2026. They are creating 3,000 jobs upon commissioning and up to 10,000 jobs at full operation. And His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama will perform the official opening, assisted by the Minister of Trade and Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank, Sylvester Adinam Mensah. The date is Friday, 28th August 2026. Time is 12 noon. And the venue is the North Shore Apparel Hub in Savlugu near Tamale in the northern region.
Kojo, while we're talking about the cost of airfare tickets, okay, it dawned on me also that one of the things we don't talk about most in this country is what takes workers home. And we're talking about the fact that it's a salary week. But can the take home take you home?
No.
I cannot.
The take home for most Ghanaian workers is unable to take them home. And if you sit down and do the analysis, if you do the analysis of how much we spend, it's become very obvious that Ghanaians are magicians. For example, you earn 4,000 cedis, you pay 2,000 Ghana cedis a month for rent. Not a proper place. The 2,000 Ghana cedis a month for rent, you are getting, say, a 1-bedroom with something which looks like a living room with a space which has been designated as a kitchen. Right. If you look at dimensions of these spaces and the quality of finish and the space you live in and the general environment, for somebody to spend about 50% of their earnings on accommodation alone should tell you there's a problem. Because if you look at the system, when we talk about affordable housing, a household should not spend more than 30% of their earnings on the rent plus utilities and everything. But people are doing more. Plus transportation, the stress you go through even to get a ride to work, the traffic you spend your time in, and food. These days, there are certain parts of the city, if you want good food to eat, good, healthy, nutritious, safe food to eat, you may have to spend a lot more money. So our salaries there, they don't take us home. They take us halfway, and then we struggle with the rest. And you know, we've done that analysis before here on the show, where our friend Kwame Ampofo posted on Facebook and asked various professionals to share how much they earned. And then we put all the data together, and it doesn't, and the inequalities too when it comes to salaries between industries and all those things. It's crazy. For example, give me a profession.
Medical doctors.
Medical doctors. Medical doctors. What's how much do they earn, Po? I
check that. You check nurses. You check teachers. Then we can have a conversation.
Yes. So, if you let's start from the multinational banks, for example, and then break it down, because we did that analysis. If you look at the multinational banks, officers said they were earning 25,000 cedis
a month or a year.
Managers said they were earning 40,000. Senior managers said they were earning 60,000, and the execs, they said they were earning 150,000. This is a survey we did.
That can take them home.
But this is not the norm. And then others in the multinational banks, clerical 8,000, a certain level of clerical, like sometimes depending on the number of years you've been in the job and your level, 15,000, senior staff 15,000, and junior manager 24,000, and it goes on and on and on. And then the local banks, are you listening to this one? Training officer 4,750, senior banking officer 8,100, assistant manager 9,750, deputy manager 11,500, manager 13,643. These are people who voluntarily sent us the information, and we'll put it together. And then we go to the public sector salaries. Clerical, admin, entry level between 2,000 to 3,005. HR assistants 3,000 Ghana cedis. Middle management between 4,000 to 8,000. Directors, chief directors between 12,000 to 20 plus. Then we go to education. Entry level, new recruit with a degree 2,200 to 3,000. Senior teachers, the heads 3,500 to 6,000.
You know what we're going to do? Hold on for me. I need to go for a quick break. When we return after the break also, I think we can activate the phone lines. And someone sends this message. Emmanuel, we'll do your message after these short messages, okay? From our partners. Stay with us. We'll find out. As a salary week, what's the anticipation? Will your take home take you home?
No.
We'll be right back.
When I wake up, they discuss drafts with government. When the IMF comes in, they don't just... I need to give a background so that the mischief players would understand how IMF operates. Because I know the mischief out there.
So we just want to know the fact.
But
Ghanaians are interested in the fact, not the mischief.
Very well. When the IMF come, they don't come with their data. They come and audit what we have done by way of policy implementation. So upon scrutinizing the books, based on the very data that government gave them, they did their report, they discussed the draft, government agreed to the final draft, which resulted in the final report, which was published this very month in August. If you read this report, clearly...
Where in the document? I also have that same document.
Okay, go on. Read. I have read.
Yes. So
you start from where you started.
The portion you read.
In 2025, you started from 2025. I want to rely on
where you just read. I want you to tell us where specifically
the
Gold Board has been blamed for the $1.7 billion.
Let me repeat. Let me repeat it. In 2025, the significant scaling up of the domestic gold purchase program operations led to losses of over $1.7 billion. That is 1.5% of GDP. Almost entirely related to gold for reserve Dory purchases.
So we can end it there?
No, we can't end it. Wait. Okay. I did interpretation.
All right.
My law is not weak.
No problem.
Good. That's semicolon. There's semicolon there.
There is, yes.
Yes. This amounted to a loss of 17% of the value of Dory Gold sold by BOG. Full stop.
Sold by
BOG. Full stop. Stop there. Next line.
No, so I'm struggling to really understand.
No, wait.
Where
Carlos, are you waiting?
Yes.
For
Okay.
The next sentence.
Yes.
So
proceed.
Come. Don't
proceed.
Do anything. Next line. Losses accrued on gold trade are a combination of service and asset fees paid to Gold Board. Is there?
How and why are you linking this to no? Why are you linking this to the $1.7 billion loss?
Okay.
How is this one related to that?
Okay.
Explain to us.
Okay. Language. First of all, this report has first stated the losses in the first paragraph. So you saw a semicolon, and then you saw a
link before the semicolon. It's linked it to the Bank of Ghana.
Yes, don't worry. We are coming there.
Okay.
We are coming there.
Right.
They did not examine Gold Board books. They examined Bank of Ghana books. It's Bank of Ghana report we are dealing with. This has to do with BOG.
Yes.
Yes.
Talking about BOG. Maybe I made a mistake. But
right.
BOG, I was referring to Bank of Ghana. Yeah.
So don't divert the argument.
Okay.
Follow that. When they stated the losses, the next stage was to give those who will read it the causes of the losses. Why Bank of Ghana incurred those losses.
Okay.
So they use the next paragraph, therefore, to now explain. So now let's go to the next sentence. The next sentence now says, losses accrued on gold trade are a combination of service and asset fees paid to Gold Board.
Okay. Can I
We have not finished.
No.
Wait.
No.
You don't want us to finish?
We are doing interpretation.
So let me finish reading the entire thing.
Okay, proceed.
When we are done with the entire job.
Sure.
So let me finish the entire thing.
All right.
Once I am done, then we can ask the question.
Proceed,
but
because
if we
of
are
time.
No, then we.
So you
we
proceed.
Need more,
No
yes,
problem.
sure. If we want to do justice, we need to all relax.
Go ahead.
Have a very good interaction.
Sure.
If we rush ourselves, the viewers may fall into a trap of
let's
misunderstanding us. Good.
Yep.
So now Bank of Ghana is explaining the cause of the $1.7 billion, equivalent of 22 billion. So the next sentence starts. Losses accrued on gold trade are a combination of service and asset fees paid to Gold Board, discount on gold sold to off-takers, and most importantly, exchange rate losses from the spread between the Forex Bureau rates paid to purchase gold and the CD reference rate used for BOG accounting. So there is a full stop there. So now we can deal with it. Now, if you have followed the argument of Gold Board, one of the arguments has been that they buy the gold, they sell to BOG, the rates that they use is accounting for the losses that we are talking about.
But that is not the understanding I'm getting from the document.
Wait, can I finish?
Okay, right. Proceed.
Please, cool down. 2, some services are being charged. Now, if you go further, the report also saying that the artisanal gold in Ghana is the highest in the region. Now, who in 2025, who was given the sole mandate to buy artisanal gold? Gold Board. You read it by law. We gave them monopoly over artisanal gold. No other agency sells gold to BOG apart from Gold Board. I appoint the aggregators who buy, they give them money to buy, sell to them, and they also sell to Bank of Ghana.
Till Sunday, first mini clinic under the Republic Bank, Joy News Habitat Fair. I know many of you showed up there, and I know the excitement because Republic Bank, was there to make sure that for all of you who are building your homes, who are completing them, who are trying to furnish them, there's a package for everybody. This morning, Dan Ajeti Mohenu is head mortgage banking Republic Bank. Elizabeth Abena and Okwari Amedeka, who is mortgage specialist Republic Bank, they've joined us. We're reviewing the first mini clinic under the Republic Bank Joy News Habitat Fair. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, Dan. Hope you're all fine.
Good morning. We are
Winston.
doing very well. And good morning to your listeners.
Great. So, I mean, from a Republic Bank perspective, how is the first mini clinic?
Thank you. It was exciting. I was quite surprised that even before we set up on Friday, there was a long queue at the mall waiting to have a conversation with not just Republic Bank, but the other exhibitors. It's ran through Friday. We didn't close early. We had to wait for the last person to leave our booth before.
And when was that?
It was around 8:30 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Then it followed through on Saturday. You know, as for Saturday, people are home. And so a lot of them came around. We had our fellow bankers coming around to ask. We had government workers, expatriates, all came around. And I mean, we had to take our time because mortgages are not just a one-time decision that you take. So we had to take our time with everybody. And then we closed off on Sunday. Then the question people were asking on Sunday was, is that all? When is the next one?
Yes, of course. You know, when I was myself, I kept asking myself, "Oh, will that be all?" Because you know, whenever people show up there, they call you, and I got numerous calls.
Yeah,
you know, from people who previously had asked for, your mortgage hub numbers, and what we said was that, look, it's good when you call, but it's better when you meet them in person.
Yeah, that's right.
Because once you are there, look. They'll take their time and explain. So, what are some of the frequently asked questions? Okay, so that those who couldn't show up, for instance, would know. And you know, when we're launching, we're talking about the mortgage for the land. When you get, a loan for your land, after 2.5 years, you can be giving money to start building.
Yes.
And Rafa was talking about incremental development.
Yes.
So a lot of people don't start by building your dream house. Start by building your first house. Anyway, let me leave that to you, Dan.
Well, one of the key questions that came up was, what is the minimum salary to qualify for a mortgage?
That's very important.
And we keep telling, and we'll keep hammering that we don't have a minimum salary. No matter the amount you earn as income, there's a mortgage for you. It's just that based on the quantum of your income, some people may have to start from the land and then walk them through the building. Some also, because they earn so much, they are able to buy or acquire properties immediately, residential homes immediately. And so we had that a lot. And then there was a question of, are your rates variable? What if rate gets to 100%? What will happen? At Republic Bank, our rates are fixed.
Okay.
We fix it because we want you to manage your cash flow. So it's not just about purchasing a house. We are also managing your cash flow for you. So assuming you are paying 2,000 Ghana cedis on a monthly basis and your loan is for 20 years, you are paying 2,000 till you finish paying.
I'm interested in something because I know some of the mortgages, some of the prices are in dollars. Is it the case that you give them CD equivalents? So they pay this in CD or in dollar? Because as for the dollar, if it goes up, you have to pay dollar. You're in trouble.
So what we've done as a bank is that we give you the loan in the currency you earn. So if you earn CD, your loan will be in CDs.
Okay.
I don't know if some developers are allowed to price in USD, but let's assume your property is $100,000. In CD terms now, it probably will be 1.150. So the CD of 1.150 is given to you, and you service that CD loan. We are not giving you a USD facility.
That's great to know because I think it was in 2022, when the CD was depreciating fast. We had a conversation here where people called us and complained that they had mortgages in dollars.
Yes.
And today they can no longer pay. Some were prepared to walk away. So I'm happy that you guys give the mortgage in CDs. What that means is that no matter what the value of this thing is, you still get to pay the same.
On that score, let me just make a quick. In 2022, we had to refinance a lot of these loans you are talking about,
Okay.
they had USD loans with other banks, and we had to, or they approached us to refinance them in cedis. So most of them are quite okay now. If there are still some in the system and anybody is struggling, don't walk away from your property. You should come and speak to us so that we can refinance them into CD.
Okay,
then
so
they can pay.
In effect, if you have a mortgage with another bank and you're struggling, come to Republic Bank.
Yes.
We'll buy that from you.
Yes. We'll give you flexible terms, and then you can do your
What are these flexible terms?
Well, like I said, fixed rate. We are giving you the CD, so exchange risk doesn't affect you. We can extend the tenor for you. Let's say you have 5 more years to pay. Because the USD maybe has gone up. When you took it, it was maybe 3.685. Now it's around 10, 11 to the dollar. So when we refinance it, instead of maybe 5 years, we can stretch it to about 10 years to make it more flexible and easier for you to pay. We don't want anybody to walk away from their homes. So they should approach us, and then we'll do that for them.
You're telling me about the frequently asked questions.
Yes.
So continue with that.
You want the last one?
Yes, I want the last one.
So another, I think a group of people came around and they were asking, is it every mortgage that you have to put down, make a down payment? And we have our system such that we can offer you 100% financing. So the days of coughing out 200,000 when you are buying a 1 million Ghana cedi property is over. Come to Republic Bank, and then we finance 100% for you. At the fair at Chimota, we were there to ensure that people understood what we're doing, and people are able to get how much they qualified for. So at a point, we're issuing what we call the mortgage certificates to individuals. So you come in, you let us in on your income, your age, and we're able to tell you that you qualify for 2 million Ghana cedis for a period of, say, 15 years, and we give you the interest rate. We sign a certificate for you, and so when you're applying, just attach that mortgage certificate, and then we'll give you the same terms that we have offered you at the fair. The other thing, too, was about our home improvement mortgage. People have maybe 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. Their families have increased in number. And so we offered them our home improvement mortgage, which we are quite excited about, that I do not need to necessarily move from where I am. I can actually add a lot more rooms to my existing property. That is the expansion. And then the home renovation and let's say refurbishment. And there was a woman I met. I think she went to the EV stand, the vehicle. She was so excited. She wanted to purchase one. So when I approached her, immediately she was done, I approached her and I told her that, are you aware if you have a residential property, you can actually take a home equity and use it to purchase this EV? She didn't know about it.
Oh,
and I said, you know what, we will give you 15 years to pay the home equity so that you buy the EV, the electric vehicle, and you can enjoy it instead of taking a 5-year, a 6-year loan, which will probably put pressure on your income.
There's a quick question for you that says, please, Winston, are their facilities extended to hostels? Can they take up a hostel facility and build it themselves, especially on university campus?
We have a department under the corporate banking department in the bank. We've done quite a number of hostels for some of the public universities. And so I would say yes, much as it will not fall under the workings of the mortgage department, there is a solution that we can offer. So if I can get a person's contact, I will liaise with the corporate department to discuss that with him.
I'll share the contact with you. But I said people were asking for the next clinic.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a lot of work to do, but
that's one you and David Masfuga would have to figure out. But it will be very soon. Sure. Very soon, so we can have, the next clinic. But you could probably share the numbers. No, you can't. You'd have to share the numbers again. Okay, so that people can reach out and Elizabeth, please share those numbers with us.
Okay, so our Kumasi hub number is 02054 010 9901. I'll take that again. Kumasi Hub, you can reach us on 054 010 9901. And then in Accra, you can also reach us on 054 010 9649. 054 010 9649.
Great. Dan, anything you want to say finally to our listeners?
Well, I'll just say that thank you to Joy News and the whole of multimedia. And then thanks to the management and staff of Republic Bank. And then to those who were able to come around. We know that those who couldn't come around is because they had some other engagements. And it's the reason we are going to do a second mini clinic and a third mini clinic even before we go for the grand one. So a lot of expectations. Every mini clinic will come with its own, let's say, discounts and offers and, you know, those niceties. And so people should come around and let's have that discussion. Let's make the home acquisition very easy.
Elizabeth, anything you want to say finally?
Yes, just to add to what Dan said, we want to thank the public for the massive turnout. It was great. People asked the right questions about mortgage, how to start, and we were really overwhelmed with the numbers. We want to say don't miss the next session because Republic Bank is ready to work with you through this journey, and we are ready to assist you from the beginning of the process to you picking up your keys. We are not just giving you a loan, we are giving you a home.
Great. So you know what to do. They're not just giving you a loan, they're giving you a home. Thank you very much, Elizabeth Abena and Okaria Medeka, Mortgage Specialist, Republic Bank. Dan Ajeti Mohenu is Head Mortgage Banking, Republic Bank. Still have you on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Winston Amoah. When we return, we're telling you more about the Back to School Prayer Fest here on the Super Morning Show. Stay with us.
So if Bank of Ghana, IMF is saying that artisanal gold is the highest in Ghana, is the highest in the region, that again is connected to Gold Board because they are the sole buyers of artisanal gold when the law came into being. The third bit that we must not forget, don't forget that government has been arguing that indeed the activities of Gold Board has helped to stabilize our economy and that we should look at those losses as economic costs. Now, if you read the report, the IMF is countering that argument, and I read it again. These accounting losses partly reflect valuation effect rather than economic cost. So straight away, the argument of government with respect to economic cost is defeated because from the report, the IMF is basically talking about policy failure. That look, you have this policy which you are trumpeting as a policy that is helping you stabilize your economy. However, the design of the policy, the nature thereto, and all the losses that you are incurring is affecting your own economy, and they give you some pointers. One, that even the artisanal gold, which the dory that you are buying, the Gold Board is buying and selling it to you, Bank of Ghana, is the highest. So if something that you are buying, that is why we said, "Wunton gold na wunboka, wunton gold na wunboka." Na chese juman wunye niye. We said that. Now the point is that if IMF is comparing gold, artisanal gold in the sub-region, and telling you that in Ghana, your artisanal gold is too expensive. It is the highest in the sub-region. You didn't dispute that. Now they are connecting that also to the losses because obviously, if Gold Board is buying expensive and selling to Bank of Ghana, Bank of Ghana is doing the export. You cannot, in one breath, saying that the gains must be attributable to you, but the losses there too in the value chain, as for you and found, you don't really care. You wouldn't be making a complete statement. I think that the whole policy has serious weaknesses, and that's exactly what IMF identified. Look, we are not here on an emotional expedition. we are not here talking about Afenyo marking against somebody. We are dealing with government policy. We in opposition have a duty to the people of Ghana. Our duty is to point out these and draw government's attention to these failures and ask for remedial steps. IMF did a breakdown and connected all the dots. And from what IMF has said, the fair conclusion, therefore, is that the losses as registered in the BOG books are as a result of gold board operations and activities. Simplicity. Now, why do I say we should not pay too much attention to the gold board audited account financials? We shouldn't pay too much attention to it because it wouldn't give you the full picture. Now,
but you said we should read this in the broader sense,
exactly.
in a broader sense,
so, yes.
to understand. So why do we have to do that, leaving the gold board audited account? Because we also need to respect.
You and I on the same page. Relax, Carlos. Take it easy. I am saying that don't read gold board audited account, isolate it and say in their books there are no recorded losses and say it's fair complete. Don't read the IMF reports alone and also say that in this report the losses are attributable to BOG and leave it there. These are two documents, combine them. That is the basic rule of interpretation. At least my law professor taught me that. So I am saying that reading all the documents, Gold Board receiving some 4.5 billion 2 days to the end of the year, Gold Board being financed by BOG in the first 9 months of its operations until the IMF raised the red flags. And the IMF giving us a breakdown that the losses that they have spotted in Bank of Ghana books are as a result of the forex losses, the asset fees, the services fees that they pay to Gold Board. They again also go further to say that the price we pay for artisanal gold in Ghana within the period and the review is the highest in the
which you have already stated.
Which
you've already
very
stated.
well. Which also goes directly to Gold Board because in the law we gave Gold Board two mandates. Mandate number 1, regulatory. Mandate number 2, monopoly in terms of control, purchasing. So no artisanal gold can be sold anywhere in Ghana. It becomes even a criminal offense if you don't sell to Gold Board. So once the IMF is raising a red flag and saying that, look, even the Dory gold that you buy is expensive. Once they raise the issue of the costs, you know the Dory gold? It is the gold in that raw state. You have not refined it, you've not done any assaying and all that. Now, if you buy that gold at the world market price, and Bank of Ghana does the refinery, or the gold is processed, and it's still sold at the world market price, okay? You realize that ab initio, you are going to incur losses. Because the cost, the price at which you are buying is expensive. When you finish, there are some processing, there are some charges, forex losses. All we are saying is that instead of Gold Bond being emotional.
Question, why the song at this time? Well, it's just to prepare us for a conversation with Pastor Akwa because on the 29th of August, we're bringing you the Joy FM Back to School Prayer Fest. Pastor Atu, good morning and thank you very much for joining us this morning.
A very good morning, Mr. Amoah. How are we, sir?
Oh, as you can see, God is still taking very good care of his children. And, you know,
gone all over you.
You know, as parents prepare their children with uniforms, books, and other school supplies, I'm just curious why you believe it's equally important to prepare them in prayer.
Thank you very much, Winston. I believe that when we prepare our children for school by buying books, buying things that they need, their uniforms and all of that, We're preparing them with regards to what our eyes can see. We're preparing them with regards to what we have control of. But we have to bear in mind that there is an aspect of the children's lives that our physical eyes cannot see, that we do not have control of. And that is the reason for which it's important that we lift up prayer for these children and commit them into the hands of the God who sees what we can't see, who knows what we don't know, who understands what we don't understand, and who has control over what we don't have control of.
Okay.
So basically, it is for us to ensure that the children are physically safe, but also spiritually safe.
Okay. When you talk about spiritually, physically safe and spiritually safe, and since you're putting this together, maybe there are things you know that we do not know. What are some of the key challenges facing students today that parents should be praying about as the new academic year begins?
Thank you very much, Winston. There are so many things that happen in the lives of students when they go to school that parents do not wish for, that parents do not pray for, that the school authorities also do not wish for and pray for. Yet we hear of them in the news happening, addictions to all manner of substances. You call parents, to the school and ask them, this is what your son or your daughter is engaged in. How come? And the parents are surprised because they don't train their children that way. And so the question is, how come these children engage in these things? Truth be told, there are unseen forces that sponsor these things. There are unseen forces that sponsor all manner of very negative experiences. And so that informs the necessity to deal with these things through prayer, because in prayer you engage an unseen force called God, who is the creator of all things and who has power over all things. We've come to points where we've heard news about students bullying another student until death happens, until something very bad happens. The question is, what drives them into these things? Most of them are spiritually inspired. Okay. And so that necessitates it.
And I'm told also that you're not just praying for students, you're praying for teachers, the whole educational ecosystem.
Yes, we are. We're praying for students, we're praying for the teachers, we're praying for the school authorities, we're praying for the parents, we're praying for all the stakeholders as far as the success of education is concerned, because it's a collective effort. The parents have the role they play, the students themselves have a role they play, the school authorities also have a role they play, and it's very important to cover all of these stakeholders in prayer.
Okay. So on Saturday, what can parents and students expect when they join the Maiden Joy FM Back to School Prayer Fest? And what specific areas will the prayer sessions focus on?
All right. So, God willing, on Saturday, we expect to have every parent whose child matters to them, join. It is worth if it's worth waking up, very early in the morning to pick a flight or to catch a flight and travel for business. If it's worth it, if it's worth waking up early in the morning to go do business for the sake of these children, then it is worth it waking up early in the morning to also intercede for these children and lift up prayer for them. The areas that we're going to cover are many, a lot of them. Time will not permit me to look at all of them, but then we're going to be praying with regards to the children's physical well-being, good health, strength, vitality for them. We're also going to be praying with regards to the spirit of excellence, that as they go to school, they'll have the spirit of excellence, expressed in their lives. We're going to be praying for them with regards to we're going to be praying for the school as well, the school authorities. We're going to be praying that God will grant grace so that they function in their right as far as the well-being of these children are concerned. So we're covering every area there is to cover, and there are many pastors who are going to be taking turns in lifting up diverse prayer points, from one to the other.
So for a parent or student listening to us now and wondering why he or she should join on Saturday 3 a.m., that's very early, what do you say to them?
Well, so like I said, it is worth waking up very early if you have a flight in the morning. If it's worth it, you will do it. If it's worth traveling for business, very early, you will do it. If your child matters to you, then it is worth waking up and praying for the child from 3 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. because the future of your child depends on this. The future of the destiny of your child is hinged on this, So I would want to encourage all parents whose children matter to them to come on board. Let's carry these children up in prayer. Very, very important. You pay the fees. You will buy their uniforms. You do everything. Buy their books. Buy their provisions. Get their shoes, their sandals. Go give them some good haircut and all of that, and take them to school. That's all fine. But then it's also important that we secure their safety in prayer, where our hand is unable to reach.
Pastor Tuaka, thank you very much for joining us. But you've talked about, all the pastors raising different prayer topics. Who are those pastors joining you on Saturday?
Right, I'll be there myself. It's live on Prayer Line, and by God's grace, I'm the host of the program Prayer Line on Joy FM. Pastor Kojo Frimpong is going to be there. Pastor Mike Niabose is going to be there. Prophet Theodore Techi of Theodore Techi Ministries is going to be there. Reverend Paul Johnson Siade, a very, very dear son of the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, another very powerful man who believes in prayer, is going to be there. He's the senior pastor of Glowing Light Ministries. He's going to be there. And then Apostle Benjamin Anoche Atasiao, also a very, very, very sound, balanced man of God of Dues Chapel, is going to be there. So we're going to be combining forces together on the same platform. And I'm very sure that Winston, you're also going to be joining.
I will join you. Thank you very, very much, Pastor Tuakwa, for joining us this morning.
Come on, clap your hands right here.
And talking about back to school, well, if you're looking ready for, looking ready for school is one thing, but being ready is another. Fresh clothes, new sneakers are nice, but is your laptop ready for assignments? Is your power bank ready for those long campus days? And when the deadline hits, is your printer ready? CompuGhana back to school season is here to help students get fully prepared for the new academic year. Shop laptops, tablets, smartphones, printers, routers, headphones, power banks, small fridges, and more with exciting discounts of up to 40% starting from now to the 20th of September. Parents, get them ready. Students, it's time to level up. CompuGhana back to school season. New school, new level. Walk boldly into CompuGhana showroom or visit CompuGhana.com to level up. Call 0302 752-020 or WhatsApp 0243-143-143 for inquiries. Charlie, you've a level up. CompuGhana passion for technology. Dear parents, if you're looking for world-class university experience for your child right here in Ghana, Lancaster University is the only British branch campus in sub-Saharan Africa offering students the same prestigious Lancaster University degree awarded in the UK, with a 90% employment rate within 6 months of graduation. Your child gets a head start in today's competitive global market. Students can choose from business programs in business law, computer science, economics, marketing, international relations, and more, all in a modern campus environment designed for success. Applications are now open. Visit lancaster.edu.gh or call 0209-607-008 or 0302-747-700 today. Lancaster University Ghana, a global degree at your doorstep.
And the Digital Access Summit is returning to Accra on the 16th and 17th of September at the Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel. If you've not registered, this is a good opportunity for you to register. Go to dasummitafrica.com to register. It is being held in collaboration with the Bank of Ghana's Virtual Access Department and the Securities and Exchange Commission Ghana. And this year's summit will bring together policymakers, regulators, central banks, financial institutions, investors, and technology leaders from across Africa to explore how digital assets can drive investment, create jobs, and economic growth.
Well, if you need fuel, make the smart stop at Star Oil, Ghana's largest oil marketing company. With over 240 stations nationwide, Star Oil gives you high-quality fuel, great service, and real value for money. And this is why many Ghanaians are switching to Star Oil. And with a Star card, you can enjoy safe, cashless fueling and easy expense tracking. Wherever you go, choose Star Oil for your quality and affordable fuel.
Now, MTN just brought the prices down and the speeds up on MTN Fiber for Home, and your whole household is about to feel it. Movie nights that don't buffer, school assignments that submit on time, work calls that don't drop, and your side hustle running smooth in the background. 3 unlimited speed levels for you. 1 amazing network. Now you can enjoy 100 megabits per second for 299 cedis, 300 megabits per second for 444 cedis, and 500 megabits per second for 999 Ghana cedis, all per month. So pick what fits your home. No data caps, no slowdowns, just fiber built for real life. MTN Fiber for Home, your speed, your home, your choice. Only on MTN, everywhere you go.
And our security tip for today, brought to us by Virtual Security Africa, says install security updates for operating systems, web browsers, business software, and mobile devices. Many cyber attacks exploit vulnerabilities that already have available patches. This cyber security tip is brought to you by Virtual InfoSec. Virtual InfoSec Africa.
Emmanuel says, I live at North Kanishi and my office is at Adabraka. My take home ends at Kanishi Market. And I walk the rest of the distance. Oh, Charlie, Emmanuel. Anyway, the Kingdom Books and Stationery back to school promotion is here with us once again. It's running till 30th of September this year. And they are offering you a 15% discount on all school items, including pens, pencils, erasers, exercise books, and more, across all the branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Takoradi, Winnipeg, and Cape Coast. Parents, teachers, and students, please hurry while stock lasts. You can call 0302-764-101 for more information, or you visit kingdomstoreonline.com. Kingdom Books, where quality and affordability are both assured.
This message says, we're not winning the fight against Galamsey because of hypocrisy. The coalition is hugely infiltrated with individuals who are working for the big foreign companies who are fighting local small-scale mining participation. They call every small-scale mining Galamsey so they alone can exploit our resources and carry them away. It's a shame a lot have fallen for this. Yes, we want responsible mining, but we should be sincere and have the interest of Ghana at heart. Utu Nabeka, thank you very much, Utu, for your message. But today is the birthday of Susan Edwamankwa. Susan, happy birthday to you, okay? Susan Edwamankwa of the National Interest Movement. Enjoy your birthday. Where's the party? Let us know. But happy birthday to Mami Araba Piasari of PwC and Ghana School of Law. Congratulations to you also for passing your exams. And happy birthday to Mrs. Fiona Kahi from your husband Omar and your kids. Okay. Kojo, who was celebrating a birthday today?
Belated one to Joe Enim. Yesterday was Joe's birthday. Brad Joe, belated happy birthday to you. And Akofa Bansin as well. Today is Akofa Bansin's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Akofa Bansin. And Abraham Zato. I believe Abraham is at DVLA. Happy birthday to you.
This
Abraham.
one, Akofa Bansin, says, "Happy birthday, my beautiful wife. You're truly a special gift of peace."
Wait, Akofa Bansin is wishing herself.
No, this one is from Fifi Bansin. Relax. My main card, you know. I said, if you take your time, you would understand. It says, "Happy birthday, my beautiful wife. You are truly a special gift of peace from God. May your elevation be the signature of God. From myself and the angels, we say, keep being our heartbeat. Happy birthday, Mrs. Akofa Bansin, General Manager of TV3." And this is coming from Fifi Bansin to you, okay? All right, so I think that we need to be wrapping up then. That's all from us here.
At the cost of living, it is costing us all.
Burning. No, we need to have that conversation. We need to find a way.
Really need to.
Of actually doing the right. We need to find a way of paying people in a way that they can actually go home. Because if we pay and they can't go home, there, Charlie, there's some way. Today, Obete has been playing love songs, and we'll end up with this. My name is Winston Amoah.
My name is Kojo Boateng.
Have a lovely day. Coming up.